foremost leaders on climate change, Al Gore.
Hillary Clinton's first joint appearance with her husband's vice president.
Let's remember what's at stake. I'm running against a guy who denies science, denies climate change, says it's a hoax created by the Chinese.
At a Miami rally, Gore is also warning millennials against voting for third-party candidates. He's argued that Ralph Nader cost him votes in the 2000 race. Donald Trump rallies in Florida tonight. First, he's at Texas fundraisers and lashing out on Twitter against Republicans dropping support over the lewd remarks video.
He would love to have a unified party, just as incumbent Republicans would love to have him not say things that hurt their chances of reelection. And it is a huge battle. He's actually now battling with the RNC. He's also battling with Paul Ryan. He's battling with John McCain, who said that he can't support him anymore and won't talk about him.
Fox's Carl Cameron in Panama City Beach, Florida. Trump's running mate Mike Pence scheduled to speak in Iowa at this hour. The U.S.-led coalition fighting ISIS is chipping away at ISIS-held territory.
ISIS now control down to 25,000 square miles, which is an area the size of West Virginia. That being said, they do still control major urban centers, mainly Mosul in Iraq and Raqqa in Syria. And our sources say that the battle for Mosul might begin in the next few days.
Fox's Benjamin Hall, one author of that new report, though, says ISIS has long been planning how to remain an insurgency once its land is gone. A plunge on Wall Street, the Dow down 197 at the closing bell. The S&P and the Nasdaq also dropped more than 1%. Alcoa kicking off earnings reports with a miss for its third quarter results. Fair and balanced.
If you run a business, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or construction, you know that commercial vans aren't one size fits all. Some vans are too small.
We're gonna have to make 2 trips.
Others too big.
Watch the top! Watch the top!
You need a van that's just right. That's where the Mercedes-Benz Metris comes in. It's the only available mid-size commercial van with unmatched safety features, a 2,500 2-pound payload, and enough cargo space to hold over 60 sheets of 4x8 drywall. It's big enough for the job, yet it's small enough to fit in your garage. It has a service interval of up to 15,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. We won't give you a one-size-fits-all van. We'll do you one better, a commercial van that's sized just right for you. The 2016 midsize Metris. Mercedes-Benz. Vans born to run.
Yet another batch of emails from a top aide to Hillary Clinton published by WikiLeaks.
In one email from March to top Clinton campaign advisors, current Democratic National Committee Chair Donna Brazile shared a question Clinton could be asked at a CNN town hall. At the time, Brazile was a CNN contributor and wrote in that email, "From time to time I get questions in advance," warning one topic that worried her was a potential question about the death penalty. In a statement, Brazile says she never had access to questions and wouldn't share them if she did. Instead, she says she often shared her thoughts with each and every campaign.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern in Washington. Brazile became DNC chief after Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigned the post in the wake of another WikiLeaks release showing some party officials disparaging and undermining Senator Bernie Sanders' campaign during the primary. The U.S. weighing the potential military response it could take against Houthi rebels based in Yemen. They're accused of launching 2 missiles at American warships in the Red Sea Sunday. A Pentagon spokesman says the U.S. is still investigating the unprecedented incident. A deadly attack on a shrine in Afghanistan.
An Afghan official says a gunman killed at least 14 people at a Shiite shrine in capital city Kabul before police shot him dead. The Interior Ministry spokesman Sadiq Sadiki says another 26 people were wounded in the attack on the Sakhi shrine. He says the gunman killed 13 civilians and 1 policeman. The attack took place as Shiites gathered ahead of Wednesday's Ashura Day, which commemorates the death in 680 AD of the Prophet Muhammad's grandson, Imam Hussein. In the Mideast Bureau, Daniela Cheslow, Fox News.
The U.S. Supreme Court tosses out the death sentence for an Oklahoma man convicted of first-degree murder in the deaths of a 25-year-old woman and her 2 children. The ruling says the trial judge shouldn't have allowed relatives of the victims to tell the jury their opinions on an appropriate sentence. The number still settling on Wall Street. The Dow drops 200 points. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a heating or cooling expert? Chief Bauer service experts will keep you comfortable all year long. Just call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 60. Tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms, could get a half inch of rain. High 74, low of 44. That brings a cold front that's going to make it fall-like this weekend. Thursday, mostly sunny, high 62, low of 40. Right now, sunny, clear, beautiful, 77 in Champaign-Urbana.
Bumgarner had never allowed a home run to a pitcher. Gillespie to right. Almora back. He can't get there. Belt scores. Here's Posey. And the Giants have taken the lead. Swinging a high fly ball to deep left field. At the track, at the wall. Blanco leaps. And it's gone. Chris Bryant has tied it in the night. To Pacific. A drive to right. And the Giants will win tonight. Here's Crawford with the winning run. And San Francisco survives to see another day.
Yeah. Highlights courtesy of Fox Sports 1, What a wild one last night in San Francisco. I didn't see one pitch. I'm just coming right out and saying it. I did not see a pitch.
Which is why I took one for the team.
Yes,
Ron.
you did.
Yeah. I had a sleeping baby at about 9 o'clock.
Oh, man.
And I was like, man, the game just started. This would be a good time to go to sleep. And maybe I could have gone to sleep and woke up just in time for the greatest part of the game. But I'm like, I bet Lon after a long day on the golf course.
I was
not sure if he's going to stay up for this one on the West Coast. Like, I'll take this one. I didn't think it was going to go till 2 o'clock in the morning. That was a great baseball game, though.
I have to say it because it's halfway funny, and it's the Tay and J Show. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner, Austin Berkland in the studio with us to talk some Cubs. So I went to bed. I literally went to bed like at 8:45. I was exhausted. I saw the Dodgers had won. We had gone out to eat my birthday dinner with my mom and the boys.
Happy birthday,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
I appreciate it.
We put your age out there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, Carp thought you were 43.
Oh, wow.
So, hey.
Okay.
I had to correct him on that.
Yeah, I had 3 to that. So I go to bed, and I wake, if you go to bed too early, you wake up, you're wide awake. Yeah. So I wake up at like midnight, and I'm sitting there, and I grab my phone, and I check Twitter to see if the Cubs had won, and the game's still going. Almora had just made the catch.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I probably ought to get out of bed. And I didn't because I was too comfortable. So I'm still laying there. About 5 minutes later, I'm not quite asleep, and my phone dings. And I'm like, what is that? So I get on there, and you had tweeted out what you had just said, that I'm going to take one for the team and let Lon sleep. So I just sat there thinking, I probably ought to get up. Nope, I didn't. So that incredible game went by, and Lon didn't watch one pitch.
Game ends at about 2.
Wow.
Go in the nursery, feed baby boy.
He's ready to get up and play.
I nod out for an hour while I'm sitting there with him. Then he wakes up again, needs to be fed again. And then it was about 5 o'clock. I go, Tiffy's yours. I need a couple hours of sleep.
Get some kind of sleep. What a game, though.
It was a phenomenal game by 2 really, really good teams. And Joe Sheehan wrote today, it's not like there's some big controversy with this game. It was just 2 teams that played well, that came up with some big games, and it was a clean game. It was a clean, well-played baseball game. And the playoffs, man, baseball is unlike anything. Playoff hockey's got its own kind of thing.
I agree.
Every moment, but baseball, because it has those breaks in between every moment. Like hockey, you can't breathe.
No, you can't.
Baseball, you just can't wait until that next pitch.
You're always clenched.
But you're terrified of that next pitch. So you're breathing, but you're just terrified of it the entire time. And that's why I wanted to bring Austin Berkland, our producer, in here, because he's a Cubs fan. Like, I'm not the fan. I'm here. Lon's not the fan here.
Nope.
So we have a different experience. We have so many Cubs fans out there that, Austin, I remember 2005, which was really the last playoff experience I remember. But every pitch, even though the White Sox won 11 of 12 that year, it's just excruciating. So how has the first 3 games been for you in what has been a very competitive series?
Yes.
I thought game 1 was excruciating until I met game 3. So game 1, it was Lester versus Cueto and all that great pitching matchup.
Unbelievable.
It was just a bunch of well-pitched games. And then game 2, it was much more relaxed. Jeff Samardzija got out to a rough start.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I feel confident. We're at Wrigley, so the Cubs are going to do their thing. And then game 3, Arrieta hits that homer, and I'm like, all right, we've got him.
Here we go.
We've popped the Madison Bumgarner bubble here. We are golden. And then here comes the Giants, just chip
no doubt.
away. And then you have that haymaker by Connor Gillespie, that triple.
Connor freaking Gillespie.
Yes.
He's been unbelievable.
This is the postseason of dreams for him right now.
Right.
He's the Travis Ishikawa this year for the
Exactly.
Giants.
This reminds me of like a Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, just heavyweight fight last night, because you didn't know which punch was going to knock the other team out. Because that Jake Arrieta, I thought that was like, all right, we're gonna knock him out right here. And then that Connor Gillespie go-ahead triple, and I'm like, okay.
Well, and you guys gave Bumgarner his first non-quality start.
Yeah.
In 9 starts in the postseason, and he battled back. He didn't have his stuff, but he battled back and gave them a chance. And the Cubs hitters really blew it. I mean, without Arrieta, the Cubs hitters were really bad last night.
Anthony Rizzo, I don't know what's up with him right
He's hitting like 133, I thought. I saw a stat in his playoff career.
He is 0 for 13 in
Wow.
this series. 0 for 13.
He's due.
But you know who's really good is Chris Bryant.
Wow.
Yeah.
And even though Bryant hit that home run, I don't know if enough people are talking about Dexter Fowler today.
Right.
He had an unbelievable game, had that at bat before Bryant that set the runner on base. Without him, Bryant hits a solo shot, right? I mean, so Dexter Fowler, I thought, had a really great game, and obviously it's been a great season.
Javi Baez continues his great stretch, and then Mike Montgomery.
Yeah.
Huge innings.
I cannot get over what he did. He was in the bullpen for 50 pitches that John Smoltz was saying. I think that was a little high of an estimate there. But the way he came in and he commanded the game like he was a starter. Like the ninth inning was his start. So it's like, all right, inning 1, here we go. Inning 2, here we go.
Yep.
He just kept them in the game until about until the 13th inning.
And those are huge innings going into tonight, because the rest of your bullpen, though, a lot of them pitched. They didn't pitch like him. You didn't have to waste a lot of your bullpen.
Rondon had, one hitter maybe?
Yeah.
And Strop had a couple?
Yeah.
That's one of those. It's kind of neat in the postseason when things come together that were pieced together. In other words, this team was unbelievable anyway, but you get a guy like Montgomery, and then you see what he adds to your team in the postseason. That's when you sit there. That's where, if you're Theo and Jed, you have to sit there and say, yep, this is exactly what we had in mind when we picked up this guy.
And you can give credit. I thought Joe Madden, you saw why Albert Almora is on the team.
Right.
Yes.
Yesterday with that catch.
All the Matt Caesar apologists, I'm sorry. This is why Almora is on the field.
Absolutely.
It's about situations, and he adds that. And just the depth of this team when you have Javi Baez doing what he's doing and Almora doing what he's doing. Of course, you have the top guys on this team. Madden's use of Aroldis Chapman was a little different.
Yeah.
This is the first time he's really come in, I think, on the Cubs when he's inherited runners.
I think that was fine. I know he blew it the one other time that happened, I think, was against the Mariners, I believe. It was like that second series after they got him. And I thought that was okay, but the one thing that was
I didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that Aroldis Chapman, who's supposed to be one of the best relievers, has an issue of inheriting runners.
Right.
It's not a physical issue. It's a in between the ears issue.
Absolutely, which is worse.
Yeah, which is far worse for a pitcher.
Right.
Because what is pitching? It's 80% mental, 20% physical.
Probably.
Yeah, and it's incredible to see him act that way in those late game situations.
What I would do if I were facing Chapman is just make him throw strikes.
Yeah, I agree.
I know it's hard to lay off, and you got to time it up, and that makes it so hard. And catching up to 102, 103 is difficult, even if you're a major league hitter. But he looked very hittable last night.
And this was against lefties by no means.
2 lefties, right? Gillespie and Belt both got to it.
Third time in his career he's given up back-to-back hits to lefties.
Is it really?
Only the third time.
Third time in his career. It's unbelievable. And it's always interesting to me. And it was like game 1. When Chapman pitches, you see so many check swings. And if you're the first base or third base coach, you might as well get ready. And you're zoning in because he throws the ball so hard. You have to start your process of the swing. And then you have to determine in that split second, all right, that's a ball. And that's what's the amazing thing to see these guys that are able to hold back as they do that. I know in game 1 it was a little bit of an issue with regards to, I can't remember who it was, but they thought they had held on ball 4 and they ended up punching him out.
Angel Pagan.
That's right. It was Pagan that they ended up punching out. And I remember sitting there thinking, I don't know how. I mean, you're trying to dial up to 104, 103, 102, and yet then halfway there, you're like, nope, that's a ball. I'm going to take it. That's why you see so many check swings when Chapman's pitching.
You got John Lackey against Matt Moore tonight. That's a 7:30 start time. Thank goodness.
I'm going to watch tonight.
I might take a nap during it. John Lackey has a career 3.11 ERA and 23 playoff appearances. That's 20 starts. So obviously he's used to this moment. Matt Moore, the lefty, has been a nice addition for the Giants since he's come. Hasn't faced the Cubs, but he's been pretty good with the Giants. Hasn't pitched since October 2nd, so he's had 9 days rest here.
Okay.
I think the Cubs have the advantage here in the pitching, but how do you feel going in tonight, Austin?
I feel okay. It's just that lefty-on-lefty matchup with Rizzo and Matt Moore. I have confidence in Rizzo, but he just needs to get focused in again. I don't know what happened between the end of the regular season and the playoffs, or if as Joe Madden would say, the pressure of the moment is exceeding the pleasure of the moment.
Sure.
So I don't know if it's something along those lines, but Javi Baez just needs to keep doing what he's doing.
Yep.
Addison Russell got going a little bit later in the game with getting hit by a pitch, so maybe just seeing yourself get on base is enough to just spur you on a little hot streak.
You also want to watch the Dodgers Nationals. That starts at about 4:00. If the Nats win, the Cubs won't be happy. If the Cubs advance, right?
You're exactly right.
Because they have a rotation of Scherzer, Roark, Gonzalez, and Ross, and if they win tonight, Scherzer would go in game 1, 4, and possibly 7.
Wow!
In a 7-game series. So if the Nats lose, Scherzer would go for the next game again in that series. If the Dodgers win, Scherzer would work game 5 and then game 3 of the NLCS if the Nats move on to win.
And how does it set up with Kershaw on the flip side of that? Because Kershaw goes tonight, right?
Yeah.
So if the Dodgers extend this thing to 5,
I would imagine he goes 2-5.
He probably goes 2-5. Yeah, that's probably how they would do that there. So, and it is interesting. That's important. That's important this time of year to figure out when the big boy is going to be coming back and pitching. And of course, you get a little break with regards to Bumgarner in the first series here, only pitching once.
Yes.
But Cueto was unbelievable in game 1. He and Lester both matching each other pitch for pitch.
If you were the Dodgers, would you guys have gone with Kershaw today or saved him for tomorrow? Because you got to win 2 games regardless.
Because he's coming back on short rest.
You could have gone Julio Urias.
I would go Julio Urias here. I mean, not here, but at Chavez Ravine, since it's his home.
Since it's at home, right?
And I don't trust a rookie on the road in Game 5, so let Urias handle it with a bullpen that's ready at all times.
Very good.
And then Kershaw Game 5.
That'd be interesting.
Here's your Cubs lineup tonight: Dexter Fowler, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Ben Zobrist in left field, Addison Russell at short, Jason Hayward in right field, Javi Baez at second base, and the future Cub Hall of Famer David Ross is your catcher and in the 8th spot.
It is interesting when you look at that lineup, and you had mentioned your, not displeasure, but your worry about Anthony Rizzo. Sometimes, though, in the playoffs, it's just the guys like Connor Gillespie that come up and have the big moments.
Jeff
Javi
Blum.
Baez. Exactly. I mean, those Daniel Descalso, right? Pete Cosma. It's sometimes not your stud, not your guy that's gotten you there that sometimes has to do everything.
Well, and the great thing for the Cubs is,
you know, Rizzo's going to hit.
Well, you don't need Rizzo to hit.
Right.
They have Bryant right after him.
Right. They can make up for it with all the other guys around them. Like, the Giants need Buster Posey to be great.
Absolutely.
Like, the rest of that lineup isn't good enough. Hunter Pence had a great game. Did he have a hit?
I think he had one, I believe.
Doesn't he bug you?
No, I love him.
Well, I know, but if you're going against him, I mean, he bugs the heck.
Yeah,
I was about ready to tweet out in game 1. I'm like, oh, Cubs fans, get ready. You're going to hate Hunter Pence before this is over.
Because he's good.
He's good, and he's just frustrating. You know, he gets out there, he takes pitches, he hustles. He's just one of those guys that you look at and you're like, ugh. Like, if we lose this series, it's not going to be to him. And I remember saying that with the Cardinals.
Austin, have you had any Cubs fan deflating moments yet? Like, have you had any dark moments where it's like, oh, here are the Cubs again?
So the dark moments have came just in spurts because the Cubs have rebounded rather well, like right away. So I guess game 1, inning 1, pitch 1 was that bunt single, and the defense was just so off balance right there. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, what's going on?
They're just going to run on Lester right now, and then after that, it was just a bunch of pitch outs, and then 1, 2, 3 inning right there. But so there hasn't been that many Except that eighth inning last night. It was brutal.
I think the thing, if I'm a Cubs fan, the thing I'm calm about is the fact, number one, you've got Lackey tonight, and you know what Lackey can do, right? In these big moments, he lives for these moments.
John Lester, Game 5.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then you've got Lester in Game 5. And even if Lester doesn't have his A game, he's not going to give up more than 2 or 3 runs. So you understand going into that game that it's not going to be one of these that's a runaway early. Lester's going to keep you in that game. And at Wrigley, with that atmosphere, with everything going on there, these Cubs will start hitting. I mean, they have to start hitting, I would assume.
There's too many of them.
And the thing about Lackey is, too, of just his veteran presence.
He's
been there in plenty of situations. So he's pitched in 2002 in the World Series against these Giants. Not against these Giants, but against the Giants at AT&T Park.
John Lackey probably got the best sleep of anybody on that team last night because he's been here, done that. I mean, it's not going to worry him. And although everybody else was probably exhausted, so they probably slept. Everybody probably slept well last night. As the old man too, he's just there. He's just there. He's a vet,
steadying presence.
Yep.
For that, thank you, Austin. Appreciate the Cubs perspective.
Done, buddy.
We'll talk more Cubs. Jordan Burnfield, 670 the score, will join us at 4:20, and we're going to bring our guy in because what a year for Cleveland sports!
No doubt.
As the Indians advance to the ALCS, they'll play the Blue Jays. Noah Newman, WAND sports anchor, he's going to join us at 4:45. Talk about a big year in Cleveland sports. That team's got a little magic to it right now, and
they do.
I know the Cubs traded for a really good reliever. I think the Indians traded for the better one in Andrew Miller.
Yes.
Andrew Miller's been ridiculous. We're also going to talk a little Illinois football on. I haven't heard your thoughts on that.
No, do I have to?
Quite yet. Jay Lehman, Big Ten Network, was going to join us here in about 10 minutes. We'll talk with Jay. We also got Tay's Take at 5:45. Lante answers any of your random questions. You can just send those to me on Twitter at JWarnerScott, or you can text us on the Cheap Hour text line at 359-2255. If you want to weigh in, you can text us, or you can call us on the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line at 359-2255. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. Download the WSJK app. Watch us on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show and get the podcast at ESPNCU.com or on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. You just heard from Austin Burkle, and also James Woodard will be on updates and interning for us today as well.
Hey, and before we take a break, Josh in Champaign wants to weigh in real quick on John Lackey pitching. I know we're going to go with Jay Lehman and switch subjects next, so we're going to let Josh go here on the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. Josh, go ahead, my friend.
Hey, gentlemen. I'm a fan of the show. Big Cubs fan. And get you to talk with John Lackey and kind of history. John Lackey, he's had those stretches where he's been roughed up sometimes. And I just wanted to see if you guys thought that could be a potential concern for a Cubs fan like myself.
All right, buddy. We appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I think Lackey, his better pitching is behind him. Let's put it that way with regards to his age. But man, when it comes,
pretty dang good starter.
Obviously a good starter this year.
Last 2 years, he's been a 3-WAR player. Right? I mean, he pitched 188 innings this year. So, that's normally about what he's at for his career. 8.6 strikeouts per 9. Walks 2.5 batters per 9, a 3.35 ERA. He's a really quality starter.
And he lives for these moments. Yeah. He lives for these moments tonight.
Really, the only times he's struggled here in the playoffs is whenever he's on 3 days of rest. Like last year with the Cardinals. He started game 1, then he was asked to, because of Jaime Garcia.
Right, go game 4.
Game 4 right off the bat, and then that's where he struggled again. So he's had all this rest, too, which is great for a veteran arm. And like you said, he's not here for a haircut. He came here to get jewelry.
Exactly right. Good. That was nice. I like it. So there you go, Josh. I wouldn't panic. I think Lackey will come out tonight and give the Cubs a quality start, and that's what you need.
He's going to give you the opportunity to win.
That's exactly right, and that's all you can ask for at this point. All right, Jay Lehman, Big Ten Network. He's going to join us next. We'll talk Illini football.
He's usually pretty frank and candid about Illinois football, and I'm sure he'll have some interesting thoughts after Purdue.
After that, it is the Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
Dallas fans, this is a good problem. You're in a good way right now, okay? You have a backup, your future quarterback, in all likelihood, who's playing great right now. So the only question you have now is when Tony Romo comes back, who do you play? Tony Romo, by the way, is a good quarterback. Sure. He just hasn't stayed healthy. So You get the MRI, you have the bye week. Is he going to be back for Philadelphia in a couple of weeks? I almost think you can't go wrong either way. Dak brings something to the running game. The passing game, the completion percentage has been off the charts, obviously, for a rookie to be completing just under 70% of your passes. No interceptions yet, which is fantastic. But does Romo still give you a better throwing offense? I still think they may be going back to Romo.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Lori Grenier. You've seen me on Shark Tank. Throughout my career, I've developed hundreds of innovative products that make people's lives easier. That's what Cabbage does for small business owners. They've developed a simple and flexible way for business owners to access a line of credit of up to $100,000. Apply online or from your phone. You will get a decision in minutes and can start using your funds immediately. Cabbage has provided over $2 billion to 80,000 small businesses like yours. To get started, visit Cabbage.com or call 888-CABBAGE. Make Cabbage your first resort for business funding.
O'Reilly. Pick up Peak Universal Premixed Antifreeze and Coolant for $7.99 a gallon after mail-in rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts and earn double O Rewards points on your purchase. Protect against damaging rust and corrosion with Peak Universal Premixed Antifreeze and Coolant at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guth & Associates wants to represent you and your business in 2017. Whether you're looking to lease, buy, or sell, Guth & Associates are ready to represent you. Let owner and operator Jill Guth put her 29-plus years of leadership and management experience to work for you and your company. This boutique real estate brokerage company specializes in commercial property all over East Central Illinois. And as a boutique company, Guth & Associates are committed to fostering personalized relationships with each and every one of their clients. They'll work to provide you with a custom mix of comprehensive services tailored to deliver exceptional results. Whether you're looking to lease, buy, or sell, Guth & Associates are ready to represent you. Visit Guth & Associates online at GuthAndAssociates.com. Go to GuthAndAssociates.com to learn more today.
DP Dough is the original Calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original calzone company.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals, a nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
You are warmly invited to attend the 10th Annual Disability Resource Expo on Saturday, October 15th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Fluid Events Center, 601 North Country Fair Drive in Champaign. This free, family-friendly event is open to the entire community and features nearly 100 exhibitors, plus a variety of specialized entertainment, door prizes, local artisans, and children's activities. For more information, please call 367-5703 or go to disabilityresourceexpo.org.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons, 3 to 6, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
From the Sports Center Update studio, I'm James Woodard with your 3:30 Sports Center Update brought to you by Informed Athlete. Illinois Golf dominated the Northern Intercollegiate Tournament, winning by 53 strokes. 53. Freshman Giovanni Tadiotto won as an individual because he's not one of their top golfers. He was 5 under. That's the top score in that tournament. He wasn't even part of the team. Just by himself. You know, why not? They ended up, Illinois that is, had the top 4 finishers and 5 of the top 10. Illini women's basketball landed a top 100 recruit with point guard Shanice Lewis committing yesterday. Baseball, busy night last night. The ALCS is set. The Red Sox swept out of the playoffs. They lose 4-3 to Cleveland. Big Papi's career ended not exactly how you would imagine Big Papi's career ending. He walked in his final at-bat, but it is what it is. Chicago dropped Game 3 to the Giants. 13-inning instant classic. Joe Panik hit a walk-off double. That came off Mike Montgomery in relief. Jake Arrieta, 6 innings, 2-run ball, smashed a 3-run homer off Madison Bumgarner, the first home run Bumgarner had ever given up to a pitcher. And Chris Bryant continued to show why he's an MVP-caliber player. He hits a 2-run shot right on top of the car on the wall. Literally just the distance of the home run right there. That ties the game up in the 9th. Game 4 tonight, John Lackey taking the mound opposite lefty Matt Moore. Dodgers-Nationals play Game 4 tonight. Nationals look to close out their series. Joe Ross on the mound for the Nats. Dodgers answer with Clayton Kershaw on short rest. NFL news, the 49ers announced Colin Kaepernick starting this week over Blaine Gabbert. The Blackhawks get their season opened up tomorrow night against St. Louis. The Blues knocked the Blackhawks out of the playoffs last season.
Yes, they did.
I'm James Woodard with your Sports Center update.
And then, of course, did not win a Stanley Cup. Because we're the Blues. Hey, this Saturday, it's the J.T. Walker's High School Sports Showcase, only on US 105.9. We continue the coverage as Unity takes on St. Joseph Ogden. Yeah, this is always a big one, Jeremy. This season of the J.T. Walker's High School Sports Showcase, brought to you by Carl Sports Medicine, Illini Mattress, Country Financial, Jesse DeHaan, Rip Doctors, InformedAthlete.com, and Hanson's Auto Repair.
Saturday's matchup between Unity and St. Joe, also brought to you by Moomaw Trucking, Freese Funeral Home, Apple Sanitary, Rod Schweihart, Keller Williams Realty, Minuteman Press, Monaco's Pizza in Tolono, Exact Extraction, Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Thanks to all our sponsors for St. Thomas More versus Unity Saturday night at 7 o'clock, only on US 105.9. Now it's time to head to the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. Don't forget, half off large pizzas every Tuesday at Jupiters at the Crossing. And welcome in Jay Lehman. Jay Lehman Talks, powered by Guth & Associates. Whether you're looking to lease, buy, or sell, Guth & Associates are ready to represent you. Owned and operated by Joe Guth. Lettered 29-plus years of leadership and management experience. Help your company. Visit GuthAndAssociates.com for more information.
Let's turn to Jay Lehman, Big Ten Network. Jay, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Tay and J. How are we doing?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Because, Jay, if you can't beat Purdue, then really, I don't know. What do I do? What do I do as an Illini fan right now?
It's a pretty sad state of affairs, to be honest. I mean, there's no way around it. You lost to Purdue, a team that was really struggling. And I think it's just a huge crisis of confidence for Illinois right now. And obviously there's some holes players-wise, but to lose to Purdue just crushes the confidence of not only the team but the fan base.
Is the talent just not there? Does it come down to that? I mean, but you would think against Purdue you would have equal talent, if not better talent, going into that game.
Yeah, I don't think it was talent this game. I think Illinois is outmatched in some games. I think some positions they're decently deep, but, defensive line being one of them,
sure.
Maybe the only one of them. They're obviously very shallow in other positions, offensive line being one of them. And so, but talent wasn't the issue here. It just comes down in the games like this, I think, to just belief system. And, it's crazy because, you could say, Purdue has no belief that they're going to win either. But it just seems like Illinois finds ways. They're just one of those programs, except for those years that we've been good, and they've been few and far between over the last 15 years. They just find ways to lose. There's no other way to put it, right? I mean, whether it be the field goal or before the interception, whether it was the roughing the passer, it's just like, here we go again. And I just think that just permeates through the whole team.
What does it take to break that as a coaching staff?
I think that's a great question. I think what we were able to do, and what the 2001 team was able to do, and I played in the 2007 team, obviously, is I think you kind of need a moment as a program, and I think they're a couple of years away from it, where you beat a team and people are like, wow, like when we beat Penn State and Wisconsin back-to-back in 2007, we kind of realized that, man, we can play with anybody around here. And then, Missouri was really good that year. We played close. We didn't know they were really good at that point. But they went on to have a great year. And I think it's just going to take time. And it's also going to take new players coming in as well that don't have that mindset. They're recruited by a new regime. Still got to remember, I know you guys have said over and over, none of these players are recruited by any of these coaches. So it's just an interesting dynamic right now.
Yeah, and then you can see other programs like Maryland or even Rutgers has a recruiting class that they actually recruited.
Right.
So I'm not really sour on the long term more than I was before.
Same here.
But there are some short term concerns that I see. And, I think when Lovie Smith was hired, he had all this NFL experience. You assumed that at least this team will play a little bit cleaner football, maybe. Maybe this team will be more disciplined. The opposite's been true. I mean, the penalties are ridiculous, and the defense, Jay, has been worse than last year, despite having talent there. And what do you make of that? Is that just a staff and players still learning what each other want?
Well, I think there's always a transition. Number one, number two, a lot of the penalties, granted, some are undisciplined. A lot of the penalties, when you're not when you're out athleted by somebody else, you hold. That's when you block in the back. You block in the back, you hold when you get beat. And so a lot of that is just you guys are better than Illinois.
Right.
But other stuff like lining up in the neutral zone, late hits, smacking people in the helmet, that stuff is stuff you really don't want to see and that you're surprised to see. But you also got to admit that they've only had them for 6 months. So it's very hard to judge anything on this coaching staff when you had such a limited amount of time.
Follow Jay Lehman on Twitter, @JLehman47. Well, I guess the elephant in the room now is who's your starter. Lovie says it's Wes Lund. He's number one. Chase Crouch is our backup. What did you think of Chase coming in and what he was able to do Saturday?
I really like watching Chase play. Watched him play. He threw a lot better than I think most people gave him credit for. Threw a lot better than the time we got to see him in the Murray State game. But what I like about Chase Crouch is right now, when Illinois doesn't have a run game, you can simply bring pressure on Wes Lund, stop the run game with 4 or 5 people, and Wes can't move. So and the offensive line can't really create the pockets that they need to. So you kind of in a catch-22. I think Chase Crouch has a totally different dynamic to the offense. I actually think it's what Garrett McGee wants more of a quarterback, a little bit more mobile. I'm going to be really, really curious to what kind of athlete they bring in next year to play quarterback. And not to say that they'll play, but I think it'll be in the mold of Chase Crouch, maybe not as big as Chase Crouch, but definitely mobile. I think Chase Crouch actually gives them the best chance to win right now.
I agree with you, Jay, and I think it's because of the personnel around them.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Wes Lund could be traded midseason to Michigan State, Sparty would love to have him, and I think he could succeed there. I don't think he can succeed here without a Mikey Dudek, without a strong offensive line.
Fair enough.
I think Chase covers up some of those issues, and I'm on board there. After seeing what Chase did, I think it's his job. But that's a weird thing, I think, for a coaching staff. Like, how do you handle sitting a senior captain quarterback if he's healthy for the younger guy?
Well, I think you make a good point. It's not necessarily. It's definitely not all on Wes. He's got an arm to play in the NFL for sure. But with the cast around him, the trade-off is okay. We need somebody that can fit better with our cast. I think that's just Chase Crouch because he's mobile. He can take more shots. He's bigger. We haven't had somebody run like that in a big game for yardage like that. I don't know how long. So it was exciting to see. The rush yards and 40 did for I think 2.5 quarters was darn impressive numbers wise.
What are defenses going to do now that they know? Like, because you mentioned it, Purdue. It took them like a quarter and a half to realize Chase Crouch might not throw the ball the rest of the game. Then they finally made him do it, and like you said, I think Chase threw it better than I imagined, better than the staff imagined. So what are defenses going to do now to adjust to him?
Well, when I think of Chase Crouch, I think that I didn't see him throw. I mean, he hit that one to Malik Turner deep, but a lot of it was rollout, a lot of it was dump offs. And I think what you're going to see is you're going to see people do the same thing they do. They're going to press coverage. They're going to make him, get not just be able to throw short throws, but throw the ball down the field, and they're going to try to take away the quarterback run. So it's going to be more difficult going forward. I still think, though, his skill set, his ability to create and during the scramble and to find receivers is going to be the best thing for Illinois because, quite honestly, the planned plays haven't been working too well.
Jay, you need to fill me in on this defense, especially the defensive line. We understand that there are a couple of guys on this line with Smoot and now I'm forgetting. Thank you, Carol Phillips, that are obviously guys being looked at right now in the NFL and guys that will probably be on rosters or for sure will be on rosters in the NFL. I get they can get to the pass or to the quarterback. I get they can do that. Why are they being gouged like this? And I guess for me coming into this year, and Jeremy warned me, he's like, this doesn't mean they're just automatically going to be stopping everybody's run game. Even though they're good at one thing, they might not be good at both. How can they get better at stopping the run? We know what they can do rushing a quarterback. How do you translate that during a season to stopping the run now?
Well, I think stopping the run it does start at the D-line for sure, but good backs are like water. They always find the hole. Yeah. And to be honest, there is not great, I'm not going to use the football term gap integrity, but it takes 8 people playing disciplined ball, filling in gaps, and it shouldn't be that difficult. But I don't think, especially in the secondary and the outside linebackers, I think Hardy Nickerson, the player, has done a great job. I also think that Smoot and Carol Phillips are probably better pass rushers than they are just run stuffers. But I don't think in the secondary and the outside linebackers we filled the gaps that well. And backs are going to find it like water. I think if you had Clayton Fedgelin back there, who's playing for the Bengals, I think we lost some very experienced defensive backs in Spence and D'Angelo Bentley, and that hurts you a little bit. I don't think our defensive backs have tackled very well at all. I mean, look at that North Carolina game. It was really, really sad the way we were tackling in space. So it's a whole gamut. The long story short is we need better players. I hate that I have to say that's the reason because I'm a player, but quite frankly, they're just getting out-athleted in a lot of different areas. Not saying Purdue out-athleted them, but in other games, yes.
Yeah. Jay, before we let you go, we don't know if Illinois yet is the worst team in the Big Ten, but we'll find out on Saturday.
Right.
Rutgers is bad. I know they played 2 really good teams, though. So what's the key for Illinois against a Scarlet Knights team that's lost 136-0 the last 2 weeks?
Well, you know what? What's unfortunate is that, if Illinois could have won against Purdue and then put Rutgers together, you could have said, meet Rutgers this coming week. Could have said, hey, we're battling back. We're getting better, right? Yep. And now that they lost to Purdue, you're just like, we better beat Rutgers. Yeah. If there's the teams who are struggling, I don't know if you saw the stat sheet in that 78-0 loss to Michigan. It was disturbing. 2 of 18 for the quarterbacks. I think they passed for like 10 yards.
Wow.
I've never seen any domination at any level, pro, college football. Pop Warner's not even long enough to score that many points. Right. So, I mean, if they don't win, I'd be shocked. Then again, Iowa only beat them by 7 points, but they did have Janarian Grant for half that game. They're not their best offensive player. They're really struggling. Illinois needs to win this game. I mean, when I say needs to win this game, I mean not to keep any. Obviously, Lovie Smith's going to be here a long time.
Sure.
But I just think for their confidence, they need to win it.
Michigan State, is the party over there?
Yeah, it's a great question and something we're going to be talking about tomorrow on Big Ten Network. I don't think anybody. I'll look at Michigan State in the last 9 years, arguably the most consistent team in the entire conference over the last 8-9 years. Benefited from Michigan having some coaching woes and not being the Michigan we knew. Ohio State was under suspension. Wisconsin had 3 different coaches, and you can see who rose to, and Penn State had its woes. So who rose to power, right? Michigan State. Now they also had Kirk Cousins, and they had the all-time winningest quarterback in Connor Cook, and they've always been able to stop the run with some unbelievable defensive backs in Darquez Gennard and Trey Waynes on the edge. They don't have those players anymore. They got an average quarterback that can't throw the ball worth a hoot. Damian Terry might take his job next week. They are not committed to the run as they have been before because their O-line, they lost 2 All-Americans off the O-line last year. Defensive line-wise, they've been more like a sieve, not the Michigan State front line we know. So, and they've been riddled with injury. Riley Bull has been hurt. Malik McDowell was out for half the game with a targeting. I don't think anybody saw them losing at all, especially to beat Notre Dame. People thought Notre Dame was good. Nobody saw them losing to Indiana, to BYU. Wisconsin maybe, right? But not the way they lost. And, I just think, what D'Antonio said, and I'll get along with us, but what D'Antonio said in his post-game comments, if you listen to it, he said, it took 9 years to build something here, and I thought we had established this program, but we're in a very dangerous zone right now, and I think he feels it's slipping away. And it's interesting to me because you look at the last 2 recruiting classes, they're getting 4 or 5-star recruits, different from what they had those great years on with those 3-star recruits. People said, man, if D'Antonio can do with 3-stars, wait till they have 4 or 5-star recruits, and it hasn't been there.
Interesting. Jay Lehman.
That was a long-winded response to your question.
That's perfect. Good. Jay Lehman knows football. That's why we have him on. It's awesome. Big Ten Network. Follow him on Twitter at JayLehman47, former All-American for your Fighting Illini. Always a joy to visit with you. Jay, thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
All right, buddy. Jay Lehman.
Jay Lehman Talks, powered by Guth & Associates. Whether you're looking to lease, buy, or sell, Guth & Associates ready to represent you. Owned and operated by our friend Jill Guth. Let her 29 years of leadership and management experience help your company. Guth & Associates, the boutique real estate brokerage company in East Central Illinois, specializing in commercial property. Visit GuthAndAssociates.com for more information.
Good Cardinal baseball fan, Jill Guth. I want to ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Was Purdue's best defensive player not playing in that game Saturday?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you another question. It's going to put you on the spot.
Sure.
Was Purdue's best offensive player not playing in that game Saturday?
Yes.
Did Illinois lose to Purdue Saturday?
Yes.
Was that game at home? Was that at Memorial Stadium?
Yes.
That's all I needed to know. You're done with your questioning. You can leave the room.
I want to ask you when we come back.
Okay.
Crouch or Lunt, if healthy. Both are healthy. I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
I asked a former Illinois quarterback that today. I'll give you his answer as well.
Okay. I'm interested for that more than me. That's crazy. It's the Tay and J Show.
Hail to the orange. Hail to the blue. Hail alma mater. Ever so true. We love no other. So let our motto be victory. Illinois. Varsity. Secure your seats for Fighting Illini football today by phone at 1-866-ILLINI-1 or online at fightingillini.com.
Bunny's Tavern is your home for the 2016 Cubs postseason run. Nothing beats watching baseball over an ice-cold beer. So enjoy $13.50 mix and match domestic buckets and $6 PBR pitchers 7 days a week. You'll catch every minute of Cubs playoff action on Bunny's 13 big screen TVs, whether you're inside or enjoying the largest heated patio in Urbana. With delicious daily lunch and dinner specials, Bunny's Tavern is the perfect spot to settle in for a historic postseason run. Bunny's Tavern, your home for the 2016 Cubs postseason. We know how much you love your car. Protect your ride with Auto Guard from Pekin Insurance and your local independent agency. Auto Guard picks up where other policies fall short, offering trip interruption coverage, key replacement, tire protection, accidental airbag deployment coverage, and more. All for just $20 per year per vehicle. Call your local Pekin Insurance agent or visit www.pekininsurance.com to put their beyond the expected services to work for you with Auto Guard.
Hi, my name is Fred Wakefield. I'm a former Fighting Illini football player, 8-year NFL veteran, and now a graduate of the University of Illinois MBA program. I decided to get MBA because before I was ever a professional athlete, I was a student and someone wanting to really go into the business world. The best part about the MBA experience with the University of Illinois was the people involved in the program. Professors who were absolutely outstanding, fellow students who I still lean on a regular basis. I would definitely recommend Illinois' MBA program. Talked to a few different people about it. One guy actually played in the NFL for a number of years and called and asked about it. And I know that it's a program that continues to grow. I just think it's made a world of difference for me, and it will continue to as I progress through life and business. My University of Illinois MBA has allowed me not just the confidence, but also the tools to be able to move forward and continue to grow in business.
Earn your professional MBA 2 nights a week. Find out more at professionalmba.illinois.edu. That's professionalmba.illinois.edu.
Game Day Spirit Fan Store is your destination for local high school merchandise this season. They now have a full line of Under Armour merchandise for Centennial, Central, Muhammad Seymour, Unity, and Urbana high schools. Want to receive special deals, discounts, and exclusive looks at new merchandise for your school? Text Local HS to 555-888 to be a VIP insider for your school. That's Local HS to 555-888 to be the talk of your town. Good luck to all the local teams playing this weekend from Game Day Spirit Fan Store, your local destination for high school and Fighting Illini apparel.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance, finding the perfect solution for you, guiding you through the options, helping you through a claim, and adapting to your evolving needs. Since 1997, GTPS Insurance has provided coverage for your car, your home, your business, and your life. As an independent broker, GTPS Insurance Agency will shop around until they find the right coverage at the best price. Contact a GTPS Insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Can't find the Cubs on TV? No problem. Listen to them on our sister station, Sunny 95.3. Champaign-Urbana's home for soft rock favorites from then and now, and Cubs baseball.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5. This segment of the Tay and J Show brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
They got their new Music City Fire Sauce. It's a new take on Nashville hot sauce. Spicy blend of cayenne, paprika, garlic, and more. Made for wings, made to be eaten while watching football. And that's what you do at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
What a great, whoever their marketing department is, Wings. They probably sat down in the like a big group at a table and said, all right, we need a slogan
that says wings, beer, and sports.
Right. And they're like, well, how about this?
Just a period after each of them.
Right. They're like, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And then one dude's probably like, wings,
I
beer,
got it.
Sports.
I got it.
Done.
Wings, period, beer, period, sports, period. Genius!
Perfect.
Genius!
I've always said, like Bud Light, what they do, they don't look for the marketing guy from Northwestern that was cum laude or whatever. They look for the dropout from SIU that drank a lot of beer and said,
that's who you're going after.
Dude, come up with a slogan for Bud Light.
That's your audience right there.
Exactly right. So that's what happens, and that's why I probably should have done that. Maybe I should have dropped out of Bud Light, out of Southern. No, I'm glad I didn't. Look what it's led me.
Doesn't Jim Gaffigan have like a thing like that?
Think so. Is he the hottest comic for your era?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay, or not hottest, but he's funny.
He's pretty.
He's a funny dude.
If you like PG humor,
yes,
he's the guy.
Yeah, he's the hot pocket guy.
Hot pocket.
Yeah, right. Okay,
dead pocket.
That's funny. I appreciate him. All right, you were going to ask me a question.
If Westland were 100% healthy, I don't think he is.
Okay.
That's why I think Chase Crouch will play and start this weekend. I don't think Wes will play, but we'll see. We'll hopefully talk to him today.
Right.
Hopefully talk to Lovey. I doubt Lovey will give us anything until Friday at the latest because he wants Rutgers to spend a lot of time on preparing for Wes Lunt and Chase Crouch.
No doubt.
But if Wes Lunt were 100% healthy, who are you going with?
I cannot believe I'm saying this. I'm going Chase Crouch.
I am too.
And I think one of the, if not the biggest reason, yes, he gave a spark. Yes, he adds what Wes doesn't with regards to getting out and opening plays. And like you said, he can make mistakes work still. Wes can't. So in other words, if there's a letdown on the line, Chase can maybe get out of it and still get positive yards.
Chase's legs cover up a lot of the rest of the offense's weakness.
That's correct. You said that better than that's what I wanted to say.
These wide receivers and tight ends are the worst group in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They just are.
Exactly.
The offensive line is one of them in the Big Ten. One of the worst in the Big Ten. Wes needs a strong receiver group, a strong offensive line to succeed, and he just doesn't have it here. I said it yesterday. I don't think it's... For me, yes, Wes Lunt needed to play better. He's needed to play better. I thought he played pretty well when he was in there against Purdue. His receivers didn't help him.
Nope.
And then he gets hurt with that late hit. But Chase provided a spark, and he provides something this offense needs to be successful. I think Illinois eventually needs to get better at quarterback, and obviously they will. But for this team, I think the best chance to win, just like Jay Lehman said, is with Chase Crouch.
And the big thing for me was this. Jeremy, if I would have watched that game Saturday once Crouch came in, and it was all about him just running for positive yards and kind of keeping you in a game against an average Purdue or a below-average Purdue team, I would not sit here and say that Chase is the one. The throws he made, I'm a believer a little bit more now because I was honestly did not think he had the ability to do what he did.
And you had a buddy say, hey, you guys talked about how he couldn't throw.
Exactly.
And, the coaching staff is thought the same thing.
Yeah, and they weren't ripping on you and I, but they were just like, I think we've heard you guys talk about it.
Watch Chase. He has to put everything into those throws.
Yeah.
But he made them.
He did.
He made two really good throws that I'd never seen him make before. The one to Malik Turner on the sideline and the one where he just made a play that Wes Lunt can. where he scrambled around, broken play, sees Tyler White come open, and he throws it over his back shoulder, and Tyler catches it. Like, those are plays that I didn't think he had in him. The throw to Malik Turner is what I thought.
Yeah, exactly.
The throw to Malik Turner down the field where Malik made a heck of a play, that was an underthrow.
Yes.
That was where, Chase Crouch's arm wasn't very good, but Malik just made a heck of a play.
He did.
But 137 yards on the ground is the fourth most ever.
Isn't that amazing?
By a quarterback.
And the other thing he does, and you just kind of alluded to it there with regards to Tyler White, the other thing he does, and this is what needs to happen with regards to these tight ends and receivers, they need time to get open, right?
Because they can't do it themselves.
They can't do it themselves. So by Chase being able to scramble out, buy time, I mean, I don't care how good of a cornerback or safety you are or linebacker, eventually your guy's going to get open.
That's what makes like Aaron Rodgers so difficult to defend.
Absolutely, because he extends a play. Next thing you know, now the difference with him and Chase is Aaron on a dime can throw it 70 yards.
Right.
To a person.
And this is what I keep saying, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I feel like everyone needs to like bury Wes Lunt.
Right.
If there were teams that could trade for him,
yeah, they would.
They would.
I agree.
Like Michigan State would love to have him right now. Just absolutely love to have him, and he fits exactly what they would want out of a quarterback. But for Illinois, Chase Crouch, I think, is the better option. Plus, Wes isn't your future.
No.
Now, I do think, and we talked about it with Robert Rosenthal yesterday, benching a senior captain,
that's tricky.
Isn't all that easy. It isn't all that easy. And I talked with Riley O'Toole today.
Yeah.
I did a Q&A with Riley because no one gives a better perspective of what Chase is doing, what Wes is feeling right now.
Absolutely.
Because he played with both those guys. He did exactly what Chase did. Came in excited, added fire to that offense when the rest of the offense really couldn't do much. So I talked with him today and asked, who would you start? And he started with a laugh. He knew the question was coming. And he said, if Wes is hurt, you have to play Chase.
Yes.
It's not fair to Wes, and it's not fair to the rest of the team.
I agree.
To play Wes if he's hurt. And I think Beckman and Cubitt played Wes when he was hurt.
Okay.
His first year here when he came back. And then Riley just was better. And if I agree with him, if Wes is hurt, play Chase Crouch. It gives you a better chance to win. But he said if Wes is 100%, I still go with him.
Do you? That's what he said. Interesting.
I still have to go with the senior captain, the guy who's been there. I think that's only fair to him. But I agree with Jay Lehman. I just think Chase gives you a better chance to win.
I do too. And I'll tell you, not to this level, which would be benching a senior captain. That's big. But not to that level. But
and you wonder, do you lose the seniors if that happens?
Right.
Or are they all in that, hey, Chase gives us a better chance to win?
I think probably in their mind, they're probably thinking that. I mean, they're to the point now, these seniors
I
are to the
would
point
hope
now
so.
where saying, we just want to win.
Right.
I don't care who gets us there. If it's a redshirt freshman, if it's a freshman, whatever.
Yeah. And there were some older guys really pumped up about what Chase added.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it would be interesting. And Lovey has not, he's made some changes already. Who thought Keyshawn Vaughn would be on the bench this quick this season? So I wouldn't put it past Lovey to go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Chase is our quarterback.
We got Tays taking 545. Send your questions to us, 359-2255. Next hour,
pizza.
We'll talk some Cubs with Jordan Burnfield and some Cleveland, Believeland, with Noah Newman, WAND.
I love it. It is the Tay and J Show.
We're visiting with Jim Greenfield, Spritz Jewelers, 205 North Neal in downtown Champaign. How about a little diamond ring action there, Jim?
All of the diamond rings that I make up throughout the year, everything culminates and comes together in October, and I've got a great, great selection of engagement rings, and we've made up some beautiful, beautiful pieces, all sizes of diamonds, all shapes, any color, white gold, yellow gold, platinum. Spritz Jewelers can design it for you. We have beautiful, beautiful engagement rings and all price ranges. So come to Spritz. Let us take you through and show you exactly what you're buying and explain to you why you want this and why you want that. We'll work within your price range and make sure that you're very, very happy. Spritz Jewelers is your full-service jeweler, and we've got diamond engagement rings just for you.
All right, and we can lay away for Christmas?
This is a perfect time to do that. Christmas is a great time to get engaged, and our selection is never better.
Spritz Jewelers, Jim Greenfield. Visit them today, 205 North Neal, downtown Champaign. At Body and Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body and Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body and Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit soulsports.com.
Hi, I'm George Vargas, Republican candidate for state's attorney. I'm committed to the equal application of the law. Whether you're rich or poor, black or white, justice should be blind. I'm also committed to reinstituting mental health court for dealing with the mentally ill and bringing back the adult diversion program for dealing with first-time, non-violent offenders. These issues are important to our community. Let's restore justice on November 8th.
Paid for by the committee to elect George Vargas for state's attorney.
It's the 31st annual Women's Fitness 5K Run and Walk, sponsored by Body and Soul Sports, Human Kinetics, Great Harvest Bread Company, and Stevie J Broadcasting. Sunday, October 16th at Urbanus Crystal Lake Park, 11 a.m. All the proceeds donated to Courage Connection and the Crisis Nursery. Thanks also to Christie Clinic Illinois Marathon, Mettler Center, Second Wind Running Club, and Cozad Asset Management. Register online at secondwindrunningclub.org or on race morning starting at 9:30. More info, call Jan Seeley, 369-8553.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, the Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady. Al Gore makes his 2016 debut.
Your vote really, really, really counts. A lot.
At a Miami rally with Hillary Clinton moments ago, reaching out to millennials in particular with a bit of a history lesson about the 2000 loss he blamed in part on Ralph Nader's third-party run.
Elections have consequences. Your vote counts.
Gore's other main point was on his signature issue, climate change, saying it has to be a top global priority and that Donald Trump would be a step toward climate catastrophe.
Well, he may not care, but we do, and that's why this election is so critically important.
Clinton says if she wins, she'd have Gore as a climate change advisor.
I choose a more prosperous America.
Donald Trump's running mate Mike Pence in Iowa.
I choose an America that respects our Constitution and our highest ideals, and so I choose to stand with Donald Trump.
But there's word Pence spoke with House Speaker Paul Ryan a day after Ryan said he won't defend Trump or campaign with him, concerned about possible congressional seat fallout from Trump's controversies. Trump rallies tonight in Florida. A coroner's report just confirming that an unarmed man shot and killed by a police officer in Tulsa was high on PCP at the time. Terrence Crutcher's car had broken down on a city street. The officer involved is charged with first-degree manslaughter, accused of acting unreasonably when Crutcher disobeyed her commands. The Dow drops 200 points. The S&P and the Nasdaq also down more than 1% on the day. It's a sell-off blamed in part on a disappointing kickoff to the latest corporate earnings reports. Alcoa coming in with a miss on its third quarter results. This is the Fox Report. Fair and balanced.
When it comes to commercial vehicles, it's time to drill down to the details. If you're not driving the new Sprinter Worker from Mercedes-Benz, your van just isn't cutting it. The Sprinter Worker takes payload up a notch, carrying up to 3,512 pounds. Its cargo volume is cranked up too, with over 300 cubic feet of space. When it comes to safety, it's unmatched, but it's the price that'll really hammer it home. The new Sprinter Worker starts at just $32,495. It also has a service interval of up to 20,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. Put that in your pipe and weld it. Huge capacity, small price, starting at just $32,495. The all-new Sprinter Worker, starting at only $32,495. Mercedes-Benz, vans born to run.
MSRP for a 2016 Sprinter Worker excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Hurricane Matthew now blamed for at least 30 deaths in the U.S., half of them in North Carolina, where the governor's urging people who get new evacuation warnings because of rising rivers to follow them.
To the people in Moore County who may be impacted by this Wood Lake Dam, get out.
He's worried about dozens of holdouts. Fox's Steve Harrigan is in Lumberton, where water rescues continue today after a levee breach after the storm.
We're about 80 miles inland. There weren't a whole lot of warnings about flooding here, but that's exactly what we've been seeing. These floodwaters now coming into where I'm standing from 3 different directions, so the entire town basically becoming a lake.
Meantime, out in the Atlantic, Nicole has regained hurricane strength again. That storm expected to pass near Bermuda on Thursday. Late word of a plane crash in East Hartford, Connecticut. It's said to have clipped a few power lines as it went down. There were 2 people on the plane. It's a small plane, not clear their conditions at this point. A tax on sugary drinks will be on the ballot in Boulder, Colorado, and the San Francisco Bay Area after passing recently in Philadelphia. And now UN health officials are chiming in.
The World Health Organization says taxes on sugary drinks would be an effective way to cut down on obesity and diabetes worldwide. Its study says a 20% price increase would lead to 20% lower consumption. A 10% tax passed in Mexico, for example, 2 years ago led to a 6% drop, according to this study. The WHO recommends that sugar account for no more than 10% of anyone's daily calories, saying 5% is better. Chris Foster, Fox News.
He's now Sir Rod Stewart. The British rocker, who's now 71, was knighted by Prince William at Buckingham Palace today. He called it a monumental honor. He was joined at the ceremony by his wife and 2 of his 8 children. In New York, I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Every person that comes in our studio during a break is a Cubs fan. Have you noticed that?
Except for us.
Except for you and I.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good time for them.
I'm like, get out, Cubs fans. It's our show.
Here's your ESPN radio. We hate the Cubs. Obviously, because we talk about it all the time.
I honestly do hate the Cubs.
Here's your ESPN radio 3-day forecast. Brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a cooling or heating expert? Chief Bauer service experts will keep you comfortable all year long. Just call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. Tonight, mostly sunny, high 78, low of 60. Wednesday, chance of thunderstorms, high 74, low of 44. Thursday, cold front comes through, high 62,
Ooh.
A low of 40. Right now, sunny, clear, 78 in Champaign, Urbana.
This hour of the Tay and J Show brought to you by Bunny's Tavern, your home for the 2016 Cubs postseason run. With 13 big screen TVs inside and out on their heated patio, enjoy every Cubs playoff game. You can do so at Bunny's Tavern in downtown Urbana. Tell them Lante sent you and that you want beer chili because it is the stinking best. I might run over and grab some tonight before I head home.
They had the really good clam chowder.
Oh, that's right, because you had that and I had the beer chili.
Don't know if it's there tonight. I know Thursday is there. If a Game 5 happens,
yeah,
they have the quesadillas for $1.
I know.
You get 2 or 3 of those, you're full for the night.
And if you've got kids, just regular beef tacos $1.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, it's just perfect. What is it about me that if I like something, so beer chili, let's say at Bunny's, the chowder sounds great. Like I should have had the chowder, but in my mind, I'd be like, well, hold on though.
Here's the thing.
I want beer chili.
Here's the thing. My wife likes to spruce up dinner a lot. Like she has to change it up a lot.
Yeah.
I'd rather have
the same thing.
The same thing every
I know.
day.
That's why they hate us sometimes.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like I want the same thing every week. Like I'd rather do that. It's simpler. I know what I like.
I know. That's tricky.
But my wife was like, oh, let's try this or try that. And I'm like, okay, if you want to make it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Right, exactly.
But I'm going to make something simple, something quick that I know I like.
Jean used to do that. And then when the kids came along, they're just like their dad. So she finally just gave up. Like she just got, she was worn down.
I just want mac and cheese and hot dogs.
Exactly. So she's like, whatever, here it is. I've got my salad. I'm going to go eat my salad. And it's like,
I'm not saying it's just a guy thing because my mother-in-law is that way. She knows what she likes and she has the same thing a day of the week every week.
Exactly. The thing I've got right now in my refrigerator, we've eaten out so much lately. I've eaten out so much lately that I have enough food for like a week in my refrigerator. And now I have to go home tonight.
When you make $4.7 million.
Exactly right. But I have to go home tonight now and prioritize what food gets eaten first so it doesn't go bad.
What you got in there?
I've got fried chicken from the Philo Tavern.
Yeah, Andrew was all about that.
Oh, he had to have it. It was that day. It was Thursday.
I really appreciated him wearing you down. He's like, Andrew, we can't go. We got to save some money.
I know.
He's like, I'm going to Philo Tavern chicken. And you're like, no, let's go get something else.
It's so
what do you think of spaghetti? What do you think of pizza?
No.
And Andrew's like, No, chicken.
No, and we got chicken.
Good for him.
So he got chicken. So now we've got 4 pieces of chicken in there that I need to eat tonight, though, because I got it last Thursday. Then I have chili. I made the boys wanted chili for my birthday on Sunday. Lucas, first text, not happy birthday, Dad. Hey, are you making chili for lunch? That was the text. Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, I am. And he's like, oh, and happy birthday. I'm like, thanks. Appreciate that. Like if I would have said no.
Making the chili, Lucas.
Right, exactly. Why don't you come over? I'll teach you. And then last night we went to Chili's. We haven't been to Chili's forever. Yeah. The boys like that can queso dip. Is that what it's called? Or queso dip or whatever it is. So we went to Chili's. Now I've got all sorts of, you know me, I don't eat a lot. So I'll order something. I ordered a full slab of ribs. Mom was buying. It's my birthday dinner. So Mom's like, we didn't have time to go to, we like Alexander's.
Yeah.
Or the ribeye, either one. Yeah. But so the kids were like, let's go to Chili's. So I'm like, all right. And Mom's like, well, what are you going to get? And I'm like, I'll probably just get a half slab. She's like, well, just get a full slab. You can always eat it later. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because Mom's paying.
Moms do.
Grandma's the best.
Dan and Tusco on the Chief Bauer text line. Is this the Food Network? Let's talk about the Cubs winning tonight. Okay, the Cubs are going to win tonight.
Right, the Cubs are going to win tonight.
We're going to talk about that. Jordan Burnfield, 670 score. We had our whole first segment talking about the Cubs. Dan,
come on,
man.
Off. Tell Anthony Rizzo to start hitting.
Yeah.
And then we won't worry
Feeling
about it.
a little nervous now?
Shouldn't you
lose a game?
Best team that's ever been around. You should be sweeping the Giants.
The Giants have, won 10 straight elimination games?
Is that what it is? Wow. And I'm kidding about best team ever. You know that. I do think the Cubs are the best team.
Yes.
And now, let me ask you this real quick, because I know we've got some other things we're going to go through, including one, I said this earlier, elephant in the room topic that you and I have been getting crushed on. But what do you think, if you're a Cubs fan, do you like the fact Toronto and Cleveland advanced?
I wanted the Red Sox.
Okay.
I mean, who didn't want the Red Sox to advance?
But I mean, so picture yourself as a Cub fan wanting it the easiest path.
I mean, you can think of all those things. I think the Red Sox offense matched up against the Cubs. Their pitching staff really didn't.
I agree.
The Indians have been banged up, but their bullpen is really good.
Right.
So they're, Kluber and Bauer, but they don't have Salazar and Carrasco, who are potential elite pitchers.
Yes.
Those guys aren't playing, but that's a hot team. Reminds me a little bit of the 05 White Sox in that way.
Call.
They just they're more banged up than that, but they just got hot. They you look up and down that roster and you're like, it's not the best roster, but it's good. And for some reason, it's really clicking for them right now. Toronto's offense matches up with the Cubs,
and they're just a team. What was the team a few years ago that had the beards and everybody hated them? Was that the Royals that did that, or someone? But Toronto's just that team that just seems like they don't care. It's like, we're just going to go out and have fun, bash the ball, just whatever happens,
They're
happens.
deep. I mean, that lineup doesn't get much better in the middle of that lineup when you have Donaldson, Bautista, Tulowitzki, Edwin Encarnacion, Russell Martin, Michael Saunders is pretty good, Devin Travis is pretty good, Kevin Pillar is pretty good, and J.A. Happ and Aaron Sanchez and Marco Estrada, I know they're not household names.
No.
They've been great.
Yes, they've
been great pitchers. So the bullpen might be a little bit of their concern. Osuna's been pretty good as their closer, but that's a dangerous team, and they got hot at the end.
This is fun. And, of course, you got Nationals-Dodgers, which probably coming on soon. And then, of course, Cubs tonight and Giants, a 7:30 start. So those that were up till 2 a.m., you get a little reprieve tonight. You get to be in bed by maybe midnight tonight. Okay. We are having Jordan Burnfield on 670 The Score, Talk Cubs at 420. Noah Newman, WAND Sports, 445 to talk Cleveland Indians. And we'll ask him a little bit about the Cubs, too, since he covers it in this market. D. Brown, I see the news yesterday, and Lucas had his sectional golf yesterday, so I kind of had my phone off most of the day just to kind of concentrate on that. And all of a sudden, I turned my phone on, and it's just burning up.
I got more texts last night about what's going on with D.
Right.
What's happening with D? Is he all right? Why is he leaving? People care about him.
They do. They totally
People
do.
really care about him, and I think a lot of people understandably start to speculate about why he's gone.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. And that's why I wanted to ask you.
I don't know. Nobody I know knows. Nobody I've talked to really has talked to him.
Okay.
People who know him say they've reached out and he hasn't talked to them.
Okay.
And he's asked for privacy. His wife's asked for privacy through this. Illinois hasn't commented on it a lot. So I know your mind races when it comes to
totally does.
Health, it comes to family, it comes to, is he taking another job? Was he happy? All those. I get it. I get what people are speculating, but I don't know.
Okay.
So I know you're curious. I know you're curious as to whether it's going to work out here long term, because I know people wanted him to be a part of that program.
Amen.
And I know Illinois was better athletic department with him as part of your program. He's a special person.
Yeah.
He's a special person. He said great things about John Gross and his staff, so you can only take him on his word. He seemed to love his job.
I agree.
Every time I talked to him, he attacked it. He helped recruit when recruits were on campus. I saw him a couple of weeks ago. He seemed happy.
Okay.
We know he's had the hip issue.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
That's
why
fair.
he's gone. So I know people want the answer, but you got to respect a little bit
Absolutely.
of privacy.
I'm going to go with what I know. He's gone.
Yeah.
And that stinks. That stinks, because anytime you have D Brown around anything to do with your sports program, and not just basketball, I think even football recruits loved meeting D Brown, or volleyball recruits. Or it's like, there's D Brown. If you met him, if he came in the room with you, he just lit up the room.
And I've told you this. It's almost to the point where you're like, is this a big show?
Exactly. He
because
can't be this nice.
No one could be this happy and this passionate about Illinois all the time.
Exactly.
Like I've gotten to know Nathan Schulhouse really well.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where he gets beaten down a little bit. Like I saw it as a player.
Yeah.
With D, though, it's always
unbelievable,
chipper, like always positive. And I asked Nate, who spent a lot of time with D, I go, does he turn it off? And he goes, no. It's not a game where he turns the switch on and off. It's always there, to the point where it's like, you're like, is that real?
Right.
But no, it is.
Okay.
It is. So, he loves Illinois. He doesn't want to work for anyone else but Illinois, from what he's told everybody.
Yep.
But he's passing up. And this is what I've talked to with people who work in the athletic administration business or the athletics business. It's got to be something pretty serious, because he has a really good job here.
Okay. He makes pretty good money.
Makes great money. He makes assistant coach money for a support staff position.
Wow.
So, it had to be something serious. Okay. I don't know what it is.
Well, it'll come out eventually, we
maybe.
assume.
Maybe.
Maybe not. You're right. Maybe not. So I know for everybody, and that's what we do as humans, we speculate. But it is true. And of course, you especially, I'm sure, have been asked that 100 times, and people are asking me, and they're saying, what's Jeremy know? I'm like, I have no idea.
Blowing up last night, and I just didn't have an answer. I can speculate. But
it's too bad. Illinois golf, real quick. What in the what?
Now, this was probably their weakest field that they played against. But when you beat a field by 53 strokes, that includes a team in Indiana that's in your conference.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. They're 3 for 3. They've won 3 straight tournaments.
Oh, wow.
And this is the best fact from yesterday. They have top 5 golfers, right? Each team gets 5 golfers. You take the top 4 scores.
You name your top 5 when you go.
Yeah. And for Illinois, that's Hardy, Dylan Meyer, Brian Baumgarten, the freshman, Michael Fiegel's the freshman, and Eduardo Liparelli, the sophomore. And those guys all golfed great, all in the top 7.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Illinois had
all in the top 11.
Yeah.
And 4 of the guys in the top 7. But an independent golfer by the name of Giovanni Tadiotto.
Now, where does he play at? Is he from another school?
No, he's from Illinois.
What?
He won the event as an independent. Right, like some track events, like our school didn't have track.
Yeah, so you could go as an individual.
Cross countries, they go as an individual.
Yeah.
Giovanni Tadiotto, who's
Unbelievable.
like Illinois' 6th or 7th golfer, won as an independent. So Illinois had 5 of the top 7 golfers at this thing, 6 of the top 11.
Wow. My mom and my son, Lucas, were asking me, like, where he's from. I'm like, well, it sounds Italy, I assume, but is he not the Belgium, right?
Yeah, he's Belgium.
He is Belgium. Okay, well, and I said that, but mom's like, Giovanni? I'm like, I don't know. Who knows?
No,
I'm Lante.
Yeah, because Eduardo Liparelli is from Italy.
Yeah.
Giovanni Tadiotto is from Belgium.
He's from Belgium.
He's the Belgian pipeline guy.
Man, all of a sudden, Mike Small picked one of the smallest countries in the world, and now he's just absolutely. Now all of a sudden they're going to have like 3 of the best golfers ever.
Well, and why is he here? Because of what Thomas Peterson.
Yep, that's exactly
and
right.
now Tom Dietrich.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so you got 2 of those guys, and now all those Belgian golfers go. Wait, the best golfer probably ever.
Yeah.
From our country
went to the U of I.
Went to University of Illinois.
Wow.
So why wouldn't I go there?
And that's cool. And on Ryder Cup, I know they kept saying it over and over. I bet I heard it 6 times.
By the way, tomorrow at about 5:30, we'll have Nick Hardy in studio, the junior, and Brian Baumgarten, the freshman of Illinois golf. They'll be in studio, so we'll talk more Illinois golf tomorrow.
And you said they wanted to talk Cubs.
Yeah, they're both Cubs fans.
So I might leave.
I guess the entire team is Cubs fans.
Oh, gee,
except for an assistant coach.
So they're Cub fans in Belgium now. Unbelievable.
Well, I don't know about Tati Ocho. I don't even know if he knows what baseball is.
He's probably just like, okay, this seems fun. I'll go ahead and root for it.
Last night, that was cool. I'll watch more of that. Hey, good get for Matt Bolant. Yesterday landed a top 80 point guard, Shanice Lewis, out of Miami.
Good.
One ranking has her number 42.
Wow.
Overall in the country. So that's a great get for Matt Bolant. And, of course, it leads to Specco. We had Coach in last week. What does he need to do?
Right.
He's got to show progress.
He does.
And I asked Josh Whitman, I go, do you just – everyone's got this thing like, you got to make a tournament or you got to be this in the Big Ten. For me, I think you just know it when you see it.
I agree.
And part of Bolant is recruiting.
Yep.
So I think his younger classes have to look good this year. You got to win more than 2 Big Ten games.
No, I agree with you.
Right? You got to do more than that. You got to be competitive. You got to show progress, and one of those ways is recruiting, and this seems like one of his best gets since Shatrice White.
Well, I'll be honest, it's been frustrating with Matt Bolant because I honestly, we all thought this was a home run hire. When he got here, we thought, all right, this is going to work. Then he gets Shatrice White. Here come McDonald All-Americans, and nothing has worked. Nothing has worked. So I'm withholding excitement yet with regards to even a Shanice Lewis. I love Matt. I hope he makes it. I hope he's here for 20 years. He's got the best voice I've ever heard. But, we got to start seeing it. And this is I think to me, this is your final do-over. Here you go.
Yeah. Well,
starting over.
Well, and you got to think of yourself as Josh Whitman, who says we will win.
Right.
If you continue to be 2-16 in the Big Ten.
That's not winning.
That's telling, and you keep Matt Bolant, it's saying, I don't care that much about that program.
Exactly.
Which Josh Whitman takes seriously,
yes,
right?
He does.
He cares about the non-revenue sports. So I don't think he'd just say, I don't care about that sport.
That's fair.
But if they show enough progress, I think he'd rather not have to overturn every sport.
I agree. Totally agree.
If he thinks that guy can succeed. And Bolant said he needs time. Well, this is your 5th year.
Right. You've had time.
This is your 5th year, but we can understand. I mean, this program's been through so much.
It has.
This is 3rd rebuild.
It has, right?
I mean, this is 3rd rebuild. He first took over, that was a rebuild. When all those girls left because of those allegations, that was a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Shatrice White leaves, by herself leaving, that's a rebuild.
Exactly.
So this team, I don't think is going to be very good this year, but he thinks he's got a pretty talented class.
When we come back, we're going to talk Cubs baseball. Jordan Burnfield, 670 The Score. He's going to join us. We'll get you ready for Game 4 tonight. By the way, an update. The Nationals up early on Clayton Kershaw, 1-0. That game in the first inning, they have 2 on with 1 out. Baseball, baby. It is awesome. It is the Tay and J Show.
Nobody plays more country music per hour than US 105.9, where they start every workday with 3 hours of continuous country. US 105.9 is a proud sister station to ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hey, sports fans, football season is here, and it's time to get in on the action. MyBookie.lv is an industry-leading website that offers real Vegas odds on football, baseball, and all major sporting events. At MyBookie, you can take the side, total, or even player props. We are not afraid to take a wager. MyBookie has high-limit wagering on all major events, in-game live play, quick and easy payouts, and the best VIP customer service in the industry, guaranteed. Call 844-900-2387 or visit us online at mybookie.lv. Your local guy might shy away from a few dimes. Why not make your play at MyBookie? Call 844-900-BETS or go online to mybookie.lv to open an account and start winning today. Bet with the biggest. Win with the best. Only at mybookie.lv. Sign up today.
Whether it's a wet basement or crawl space, cracked, leaking, or settling foundation or sidewalks, you need to call B-Dry. B-Dry has patented and proven methods to solve all of these problems. B-Dry provides free initial estimates, and their work comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. So do what thousands of satisfied customers have done for over 50 years. Call B-Dry at 800-966-2379 or go to bdry.com. Let B-Dry get your basement dry, healthy, and livable.
B-Dry authorities!
Oh, good, you're here. It's in the basement.
Bubbling drywall. Musty smell. This doesn't look good.
Rubber sealant, classic cover-up.
What do we have here? cracking the foundation. We've got water.
Oh, no. Now what do I do?
This is a case for B-Dry.
Call the B-Dry authorities to permanently solve the crime of water and foundation problems. B-Dry, be done for life.
Go to BDry.com or call 800-966-2379.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
It's the little victories in life that mean the most.
Clayton Kershaw already given up 3 base runners already. Already given up a
all
run
year.
And 1 out in the first inning, top of the first inning against the Nationals. Cubs fans hoping the Dodgers win this so they don't have to go through Scherzer a couple times. But we were just looking up the stats for Clayton Kershaw in the postseason. 3-6, 4.65 ERA.
That's crazy.
That's an 11 games started, 1.2 WHIP.
I mean, those are so far away from what he normally does.
84 strikeouts in 69 and 2/3 innings. So that's pretty good. But yeah, the Cardinals have done a number on him, obviously.
Right.
The guy that I keep struggling with, David Price.
Yeah.
He's 2-8 in 9 games started, 5.54 ERA, 1.2 WHIP.
Wow. Cardinals didn't want him anyway. We really didn't.
I mean, both those guys probably going to be Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Kershaw
That's
and Price.
the amazing part. It is amazing. All right, it's the Tay and J Show. Lonte, Jeremy Warner, the Cubbies, and their marathon. Last night it finished, about 2 a.m., right? I was asleep. Jeremy stayed up for that, baby. Right now it's time to talk some Cubs with Jordan Burnfield, 670 The Score. Get you ready for Game 4 tonight. Jordan, did you get a nap in today?
I did, and if I didn't get the nap, I don't think I'd be functioning right now. So, yeah, I think last night I probably rested for an hour before going into the office. So it was a real short night, but it was a great baseball game. I mean, I know a lot of Cub fans are upset about the outcome, and I don't blame them, but I think it was really an entertaining game.
Yeah, Joe Sheehan wrote it was a clean game.
Yeah,
like, there wasn't some big gaffe. It was just 2 really good teams playing really good baseball.
It was, and I think that last night what you saw was a really good approach from the Cubs in terms of the way that they got to Madison Bumgarner early in the game. I think that they should have scored more runs off of Bumgarner. To me, that was the difference in the ball game, because when you're facing a pitcher of that quality, especially of that quality in October, when you've got him on the ropes like that, you've got to be able to score more than 3 runs. Now, for Jake Arrieta to hit that home run, that was pretty remarkable and obviously a huge moment in the game. But the Cubs had, man on third in the first inning, they weren't able to score. When Javi Baez made it out in the 3rd inning and they weren't able to score. I mean, you're talking about a couple of different opportunities in the early innings of the game where if the Cubs are able to put 4 or 5 on the board, I don't think it gets to where it got last night. Arrieta pitched well. I don't think he pitched amazing, but he pitched well, certainly well enough to win last night. But I also thought it was surprising that Chapman was beat by left-handed hitting, no less, with Gillespie and Crawford. But, overall, I thought, there was some good defense in the game last night. Baez made that great play up the middle. Almora, the great catch in the 9th inning. So, overall, a good game, and the Cubs still in the driver's seat as we head into Game 4.
Obviously Chris Bryant was the star last night. Javi Baez, Almora with that catch.
Wow.
But how about Dexter Fowler? I mean, the at-bat he had before Bryant hit the home run, he's hitting the ball well. I mean, that guy has been the tone setter all year.
He has, Jeremy, and you're right. I think it's a great point. I mean, when you look at the win-loss record when Fowler plays versus when he doesn't, the Cubs in the regular season were 80-38 when he played, which, I mean, it's pretty astonishing numbers when you see the impact that Dexter Fowler had. And if you think about before the season, they didn't even know that he would be back until the beginning of spring training when the Cubs really pulled that heist on the Orioles when it looked like he was going to get a 3-year deal with an opt-out in Baltimore and then ended up coming to the Cubs on the 1-year deal with the opt-out for next year. It certainly makes you think that the Cubs are going to have to re-up with Dexter Fowler next year and in future years because of the incredible impact he's had on the team. But when the Cubs are rolling, this is a guy who gets on base early in the game. He's a guy that makes things happen. He takes good at-bats. And really, I think that and I don't remember whether it was Matt Vasgersian or John Smoltz on the broadcast last night, because I think I've been up for 48 straight hours, but I remember one of them said that, there aren't a lot of great true leadoff men in baseball anymore, and it's really true, but Fowler still is one of those guys. He might not be that little speedy guy that you think of from years ago in terms of leadoff man, but he is a guy that gets on base at almost a 400 on base clip. Wow. So really, really valuable player, and when he's playing well, the Cubs are just a better team.
He's no Juan Pierre back in the day.
Oh, God. Juan Pierre had 200 hits for the Cubs, and I think he was on base 205 times.
That's awesome. Jordan Burnfield, 670 The Score. Follow him on Twitter, at Jordan Burnfield. Your three-hitter, Mr. Anthony Rizzo, struggling. And I think I saw a stat that he's hitting like 133 maybe in the last 2 years in the playoffs. Any concern there, or is this one of these, like my thought would be, look, the guy's too good to not come around at some point?
Yeah, Lon, I agree. I mean, he's, I think, 6 for 45 in the 2 years in the playoffs, which is terrible. But, you would think that Anthony Rizzo will come out of it. I mean, baseball is so random in the postseason, and I think this is one of those things. I mean, this is a great player, one of the best players in baseball, certainly one of the best in the National League. I think sometimes with Anthony, you can see that he's pressing a little bit. He's trying to, be Anthony Rizzo in every single at-bat that he takes, and I think that you've seen that in this series so far. I think, in his 0-for-6 night last night, you saw a couple of at-bats where he was lunging at pitches, where he was not clean with 2 strikes. I mean, one of the ways in which Rizzo is so good for the Cubs is he's a rare middle-of-the-lineup power hitter that'll choke up on the bat with 2 strikes and challenge you to throw a pitch past him. And I think that what you've seen in this series so far is taking bigger swings. He's expanding his zone, which is something that he typically does not do. I think he's just pressing a little bit. I think that Anthony will hit, assuming that this playoff run continues and that the Cubs are able to advance. But if he doesn't hit, that would be one of the reasons why they wouldn't.
Sure.
I mean, you need Anthony Rizzo to be a significant contributor, and if he is not, it takes a lot away from this team. I mean, really, you look at the 3 games that they've played, they really haven't had a whole lot of offense, despite being 1 game away from eliminating the Giants. It's been the pitching that's carried them, and the pitchers hitting the baseball that's carried them. I mean, the Cubs offensively really haven't done much, and I think Rizzo's struggles are one of the big reasons.
Yeah, John Lackey against Matt Moore. Matt Moore has been a really good addition, the lefty from the Tampa Bay Rays for the Giants since they acquired him at the trade deadline. Also, Jason Hayward back in at right field. Just what do you think of the matchup tonight?
I think that John Lackey is certainly the pitcher that you want in this matchup. I mean, this is why the Cubs signed him to a 2-year deal in the offseason, because they were envisioning him being able to pitch in a spot like this. I mean, let's be honest. John Lackey is a winning pitcher. Yep. He's a guy that, in the course of his career, has pitched in big games. And Lon, as a Cardinals fan, I mean, you saw what he was able to do in St. Louis.
Sure.
I mean, he outpitched John Lester in Game 1 of the National League Division Series last year. And really, I think the only reason he faltered was because he had to come back on short rest in Game 4 of that series. So, and this is a guy, I mean, if you had to pick like a list of a handful of guys that you'd want to pitch you a big game, it'd be Lackey. Now, Moore is a solid pitcher. He did have that 17-win year with Tampa a few years ago, and then he had surgery, and, he's kind of been a consistent 4 ERA kind of guy all season. So he's certainly a guy that can be hit. He does have pretty good stuff. But, guys, I also, looking at the lineup tonight, I think it was smart that Joe Madden is using David Ross behind the plate again. I've been saying for a couple of weeks, I think he should be catching the lion's share of the games, assuming that this postseason run continues for the Cubs, just because I think his skill set is the most valuable for this team in the playoffs. When you saw what he did in Game 1, after Hernandez led off the game with the bunt on John Lester, he picks him off at second, he picks off Gillespie at first, and this guy has a rocket arm behind the plate. He's an excellent defensive catcher. I think it was the right move by Madden, and I think that they have a good defensive lineup again out there in San Francisco.
I kind of joke about it, but I've never seen a backup get so much love. Maybe Brian Scalabrine, and I know David Ross is a better baseball player, and Scalabrine was a basketball player, but what is it about David Ross that just connects with that fan base?
Well, it's interesting, because I talked to John Lester about this a couple of weeks ago. I was like, and I've talked to David on a number of occasions, and if you guys ever meet David Ross, I think you'll get it because he's just got that kind of warm and friendly personality that, kind of commands a room and everybody wants to be around him. So I kind of had an inkling on this, but I said to John, what is it about David Ross that makes him just so incredibly popular? He said, the only way to understand it is to be around him every day and to see the way that he pumps up the guys on this team. He said, a guy could be having a rough game, but Rossi will go up to him and say the one thing that can make him feel like he hasn't been screwing up, but instead, he just did something good, or that he's about to do something good the next time up. And guys always talk about clubhouse chemistry and how important it is to have a player on your team that can sort of get the most out of people. And I think David Ross is that guy. He's sort of like a bench manager for Joe Madden. I think he's, incredibly valuable in that way. And I think that's kind of what fans seem to gravitate towards. I think every time you see him interviewed, he comes off as a real friendly guy. It's not an act. That's really what he is. I mean, every time I've dealt with him, I found it to be nothing but, a pleasure to be around and classy. So, and I think he's just got one of those personalities that connects with people. And I think he's probably the most popular, short-tenured Cub since Mark DeRosa.
It is.
Mark DeRosa. He just seems
right?
like, he seems like that guy that understands, like, he's had a good life. And it's like, I've had a great career, or not a great career, but I've had fun playing baseball. I'm still playing baseball, and now I'm in a perfect spot with the Cubs. And it's like he just brings that kind of an attitude, which I think is huge to a team like Chicago right
I
now.
wanted to ask you before I let you go, Jordan. You got the Dodgers up on the Nationals 2-1. Adrian Gonzalez just hit a 2-run home run. We'll see how Kershaw does the rest of this game, but who scares you more in the next round?
I mean, I think that both teams would certainly scare me. I think if you're a Cubs fan, you want it to go 5, and you want Game 5 to go about 25 innings. But honestly, I would say that the Nationals would scare me a little bit more than the Dodgers. The reason being that I think that when you look at the depth of Washington's rotation, it's a little bit better than the Dodgers' depth is. I think that if Washington had Strasburg, they'd be the runaway favorite over the Dodgers, but I think that the fact that they don't have him makes them weaker. But I still think Scherzer Roark is a better one too than Kershaw Hill. I mean, Rich Hill has had a good year. He's a solid pitcher, but he wouldn't scare me. I think that Joe Ross is a solid third guy, fourth guy in the rotation. Gio Gonzalez is very solid. So I think that the depth of pitching is better, and frankly, I think the Nationals present a better lineup. I mean, I know that Bryce Harper didn't have a great year, but he's still a terrifying hitter at the plate, and I still think that there are enough guys in that lineup that are very good. And think about this, guys. If the Cubs advance and if the Nationals advance, you'd have Dusty against the Cubs for a chance at the World Series.
Wow. I'd forgotten about that. Hadn't even thought about it. Jordan Burnfield, 670 The Score. Follow him on Twitter, @Jordan Burnfield. He took the rare day nap. He's ready to go tonight. Jordan, thank you, my friend.
Anytime, guys, and let's hope this game does not go more than 9.
Please.
You're right. Thank you, sir. That's good stuff.
See you guys.
Good Jordan Burnfield. Yeah, I agree, man, because he's got to wait there to the end and talk about it on the post game. So that's never fun.
Tay's Take at 5:45. We need some more questions. If you want to send some in, you can on the Cheap Hour text line at 217-359-2255, or you can tweet me at @JWernerScout. We do have a couple texts before we get to Noah Newman about Illinois that I wanted to get to. I told some people we'd get back to some of their questions about Illini football. We'll do that after a Sports Center update.
That sounds good.
4:37 from the Sports Center Update studio. I'm James Woodard with your Sports Center Update brought to you by Informed Athlete. Illinois golf, as you heard the guys just talking about not that long ago, dominate the Northern Intercollegiate Tournament, winning by 53 strokes. That is half of my average score.
Right.
About 106 anytime I pick something like that. Pick the ball up and throw it towards the hole. Freshman Giovanni Tadiotto won as an individual because he wasn't one of their top 5 golfers. He wins 5 under par. Illinois had the top 4 finishers, 5 of the top 10. Illini women's basketball landed a top 100 recruit. Point guard Shanice Lewis committed yesterday. Baseball, busy night last night. ALCS has set Blue Jays and the Indians. Red Sox swept out. They lost 4-3 to Cleveland. Big Papi's career ended last night with that loss. His final at-bat was a walk. Chicago dropped Game 3 to the Giants. 13-inning instant classic. Joe Panik hit a walk-off double. That came off Mike Montgomery in relief. Jake Arrieta, 6 innings, 2-run ball. He did hit a 3-run homer off Madison Bumgarner. Chris Bryant, he is MVP caliber. He ties the game in the 9th with a 2-run shot that bounced on top of a car advertisement. He's right on top there, barely getting out. Game 4 tonight, John Lackey opposite Matt Moore. That's at 7:30. L.A. up 2-1. It's top of the second. Adrian Gonzalez, 2-run home run. Dodgers down 2-1 in that series. NFL news, the 49ers announced Colin Kaepernick will start this week. Blaine Gabbert, as everyone knew, ineffective. Blackhawks get their season opened up tomorrow night against the St. Louis Blues. And everybody knows you can't get a drink in St. Louis because they don't have any cups.
Oh, wow.
That's a walk-off. That's a walk-off.
Holy
I'm James Woodard with your Sports Center update.
Drop the mic.
We drink out of a can, my friend. We drink out of a can, right? Bud Light
A
can.
bottle?
Maybe a bottle.
When we're feeling a little
That
fancy.
was really good.
That was good.
I have no comeback for that.
This segment of the Tay and J Show brought to you by MyBookie.lv. Check out the odds, get in on the action, or just call them at 844-722-BETS. That's MyBookie.lv. Illinois, despite its loss to Purdue, is a favorite at Rutgers.
What?
A 3-point favorite.
By the way, can I say this? I will never doubt you again, Las Vegas, ever. When they came out and said the over-under on Illinois or whatever, or they projected 3 wins, I think it was this year, and I thought, no, that's crazy. How do they see 3 wins? This team will at least win 5.
I thought
now
4.5.
Illinois is sitting here at 1 win.
I thought 4.5 would have been a good number, but they had a 3.5. And they were...
I will never doubt Las Vegas
probably
again.
made some good money off that.
Yep.
Rutgers is giving up 40 points per game, and they're averaging 18.2 points per game. Both of those worst in the Big Ten. Of course, they've played Michigan.
Yeah.
Of course, they've played Ohio State.
Right.
They've lost 136-0
Whoa.
the last couple of weeks. This is a bad team.
It is.
But Illinois is a bad team.
Yep.
The Illini now 6-point favorites,
Okay.
according to VegasInsider.com. The over-under is what I might bet. 55.5.
Oh.
If Rutgers scores more than 20 points...
You need to just give up. You just need to give up.
I think they might. No, I'm not give up. I think they might score more
they
than
might
20.
score them. Yeah, because so they've been shut out 2 games in a row.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And giving up a 78 point
I'm at
game.
a loss already
in a
for Big Ten
58 point
football.
game.
That's unbelievable.
You got to win this one,
I'm ready for Michigan, Ohio State already. That's what I'm ready for,
dude.
That's what I'm ready for.
I'm ready for that one too.
I mean,
somebody tried to argue that Texas A&M, Alabama, which is going to be a great game, is the best game left on the schedule. It's Ohio State.
No, I agree. Totally agree.
Unless one of those stumble. But
yes.
I don't see it with what Michigan State, Penn State's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Did you happen to see the story about the Michigan Steakhouse? The guy that,
Ruth Chris.
Yeah, that was going to give away however many points they scored. You got that off your next
point
bill.
Differential, you got it off your next bill.
Which ended up being 78, right?
Which a $55 steak would have been $10.
Right. But at the last minute, he changed the ad.
No, there was a little addendum.
Yeah,
that said it's not. He changed it.
Oh, there was this said it's not over 50%.
Yeah, it can't go over 50%. So at least he helped himself there. But he's going to be losing money.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. No doubt about it.
We had a couple questions on the Chief Bauer text line I wanted to get to.
Okay.
He said, a 630 texter, hey guys, I think our offensive line is better with Megginson at tackle and Darte Lee at guard. Thoughts? Any chance the staff would bench Austin Schmidt?
Well, it seemed that way in Nebraska.
It did. I thought the offensive line did okay. Against Purdue. I don't think they're great. I think Darte gives you more strength. I think Megginson gives you more strength. That obviously fits what you're going to be doing in the future better.
Right.
Austin Schmidt's more of a pass protector, but I haven't seen Austin Schmidt struggle all that much.
Yeah, I agree.
The last couple games. I think the offensive line, actually the last 2 games, has played pretty well.
Yeah.
After how bad they started.
The Western Michigan game was bad.
I think the offensive line, just except for the goal line, and I didn't like Garrick McGee's play calling down there, despite I thought Garrick McGee had a phenomenal rest of the game. I think the offensive line has improved a lot the last couple of weeks.
Fair enough.
I don't think they will, and I don't think they need to, because Darte's, I think he will be good, but I don't think he's quite ready yet.
I think if you're going to replace a guy like Austin Schmidt, it better be with somebody that is just head and shoulders above him.
Yeah, and he's not.
Yeah. I agree.
Will Lovey, this is from a 217 texter, will Lovey take a look at DJ Lee from St. Thomas More? Louisville has offered him and seems like a great athlete. Illinois hosted DJ Lee this past week for an unofficial visit. He does have a Louisville offer that he got. I don't know if that's commendable anymore because they have a pretty full class. I asked some guys from Louisville this week, and yes, he's a great athlete. He's skinny.
Yeah, he is.
But he's a great athlete.
Yes.
And Louisville really likes him, but I don't know if he'll be able to. So Illinois showing a little bit of interest, but if you're going to be able, if you got to play defense,
right,
you got to add some strength.
Absolutely.
And right now, I think that's his big issue. And he's great in coverage. I talked to him. He's great in coverage, but tackling's an issue.
Right.
He just doesn't have that size and that strength.
Not a big
yet.
kid, no.
I think he'll probably end up at a lower level and be a pretty good offensive weapon down there.
Right.
Whether it's quarterback, whether it's wide receiver. But yeah, that's a really good player.
It is.
Just because if you go elsewhere in D1 and not Louisville or Big Ten, I think he's going to be a good player for somebody.
Be a fun kid to kind of keep track of as we go along here on the show. All right, when we come back, Noah Newman, WAND Sports, he is a Clevelandite, and he's having a heck of a year. With the Cavaliers, now the Indians rolling. The Browns are the Browns, and they'll always be the Browns, I think. But we're going to visit with Noah when we come back about this Cleveland squad. Is it their year? That's crazy. It's the Tay and J Show.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
There's a time for work, there's a time for play, there's a time to do things you don't do every day. There's a place to go for tools and machines and people with knowledge about these things. We've been here since 53 to meet your rental needs. When the time comes, we're the place for everything. Rental City.
Tuesdays can't get any respect. Every week I can't believe it's only Tuesday. No one ever asks, how was your Tuesday? But now there is something exciting about Tuesday. The Tune-Up Tuesday sale at Chief Bauer Service Experts. Get an extra $10 off their lowest sale price on a precision tune-up. That means you'll get a $120 tune-up for only $69 when you book online today at chiefbauer.com. The Tune-Up Tuesday sale at Chief Bauer Service Experts. Take that, Saturday.
Catch a great deal at Matex Heating and Cooling during Train's Big Game promotion. Buy a qualifying system and scratch off a trade-in allowance up to $2,000 or choose special financing for 5 years now through December 15th. Matex Heating and Cooling is serving your community with over 20 years of quality workmanship. Visit MATTEXservice.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval. Matex Heating and Cooling. It's hard to stop a train.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Attention football fans, get your season tickets now to catch the Bloomington Edge indoor football team's 12th season for just $60. It's the most affordable, family-friendly entertainment in the area. All Bloomington Edge season ticket holders receive tickets to 6 games, plus a preseason game and invitations to the most exclusive Bloomington Edge events. Buy your season tickets now for just $60 at bloomingtonedge.net or by calling the Edge offices at 484-840-EDGE.
Monticello's newest bar and grill is Fieldhouse 219, serving up a full menu featuring gourmet burgers, sandwiches, wraps, and more. It's worth a drive to Fieldhouse 219 for sports and live entertainment. Watch your favorite sports teams on one of their 6 big screen TVs while enjoying a cold drink and one of their daily specials. And come back each weekend for live music at Fieldhouse in Monticello. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Make it Fieldhouse 219 for sports, food, drinks, and live entertainment. Fieldhouse 219, 219 West Washington Street on the corner of Washington and Market in downtown Monticello.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Latte, Jeremy Warner visited with Jay Lehman in the first hour. Just finished talking with Jordan Burnfield. 6:70 the score, getting you ready. Game 4 tonight, Cubbies and Giants at San Francisco.
You know, there is one city that might go crazier for a World Series. Maybe not crazier.
No, I don't think so.
But per capita?
Okay.
Like GDP-wise, can we go that way?
That's fine.
Per capita would probably be as excited because it's been a great sports year in Cleveland. And we're bringing on our Cleveland correspondent, Noah Newman, WAND. Believeland, man. You just guys need to make documentaries more often.
Oh, I love the Cleveland correspondent title, too. Love it. It's been a phenomenal year. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. With the fact the Cavs won the NBA title, would that lessen the celebration if the Indians win the World Series?
Absolutely not. Actually, I think the celebration would be even bigger, to tell you the truth, especially among people my age, because, you know, growing up in the early, mid-'90s, the Indians were the hot ticket. I mean, they were the really good team. You had the Browns early on, Bill Belichick years, you know, they weren't that good. Cavs were usually a 7 or 8 seed in the playoffs. But the Indians were it. So for a lot of people my age in Cleveland, Indians were our first love. So if they somehow pull this off, I mean, I really can't imagine. I really can't.
I'm glad you brought that up because as a White Sox fan, that team just killed us. I mean, that lineup was as good as it was.
Albert Bell, right?
Well, yeah. Roberto Alomar, Jim Thome, Omar Vizquel. I mean, you could go on and on. I know you probably got to memorize in your head, but I mean, those teams, the fact that they never won, that's got to crush.
Oh, it absolutely crushing and shocking that. I mean, you go back and look. I do it every now and then. I'll go back on baseballreference.com and look at some of those old lineups, and you got Jim Thome hitting out of the 7 spot, 8 spot in some of those lineups. It's just unbelievable. The thing with those teams, they never really had the pitching, you know? So that was really the key with those teams. But it really is a shame, and those are some of my favorite teams of all time. But this year's team might be my favorite Indians team ever.
Why is that?
Yeah, really?
They're just so resilient. I can't, since I've moved to Illinois, I've been here maybe about 7 years now. I've never watched so many regular season games. I mean, they've just been so fun to watch. Every day when I'm at work, I have them on my desk. I'm trying to, pull them up on the radio when I'm driving around. They're just so resilient. I mean, you think of a team that lost their best player in Michael Brantley. And then, look what happened with the whole Jonathan Lucroy debacle, how he said, that's all right. I don't want to play for you guys. And then in the final month of the season, I'll put this to Cubs fans, picture if you lost Jake Arrieta and Kyle Hendricks to injury in the final month of the season. That's basically what happened to the Indians when they lost Carrasco and Salazar. And they just swept the Red Sox in David Ortiz's final season at Fenway Park. I mean, that's just this team in a nutshell. They've just been incredibly fun to watch.
I'm looking at the 96 team.
Okay.
The Indians, Sandy Alomar, Julio Franco, Carlos Baerga, Omar Vizquel, Jim Thome, Albert Bell, Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez, Eddie Murray.
How does that not win?
Their pitching wasn't all that good.
No, but
Charles Nagy. Jack McDowell after he left the White Sox. But what is it about this team? Why have they been good? Because you mentioned it, Carrasco and Salazar are guys who eventually could be number ones, maybe would be number ones in some worse teams. How have they been able to withstand those?
Well, there's a couple things you have to point to. Number one, Tito Francona. I think he's the best manager in baseball. I know a lot of Cubs fans will probably disagree and say Joe Madden. You could put Madden right up there and Bochy, but Francona's done an unbelievable job. I forget what the stat is, but I think he's had a winning season for like 8, 9, 10 years straight or something, which is unbelievable. That's number one. Number two, they got really lucky with a couple of their free agent signings. Mike Napoli, who would have thought that Mike Napoli would have a career year? And hit 30-plus home runs and 100 RBIs. That's the big bat in the middle of the order that they've really been missing. And he's been great for the clubhouse, too, because he's a guy who's been there, knows how to win. I think he's had a positive effect on players like Carlos Santana, who also had a career year. And then you have to point to a guy like Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez, are you kidding me? I mean, the guy came out of nowhere. If you look at the stats he put up during the season, he was basically the same player as Michael Brantley offensively, but defensively, he's played basically every position in the field. He played outfield, he played second base, he played a little shortstop and third base. He's been phenomenal. And then you have to look at the Andrew Miller trade. I mean, Andrew Miller's just been the complete X factor, and how Francona knows how to use Miller in the perfect situations, and kind of reminds me of, remember, of course, Tyler J a couple years ago, what Dan Hartleb did with Tyler J.
Yep.
You know, the X factor, just bring him in when the game's in doubt. It doesn't matter, you know, what inning it is. Bring him in, and you're pretty confident you're going to have the lead when he exits. So a lot of things have really gone right.
Mike Napoli has played in a lot of postseason games.
Yeah.
That guy has, I mean, with the Rangers.
He crushed your team.
No doubt. I mean, he has just played in a lot of. All right, Noah Newman, you got Toronto next. What's the worry there? Obviously, that offense.
Yeah, Toronto's a great team, and I think the surprising thing with them is their pitching's been pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, their starting pitching has been really good, but the team that scared me the most heading into the postseason were the Red Sox. I'm still in shock that the Indians actually swept them. I thought it would all come down to Game 1, and once they won Game 1, I thought, okay, well, maybe we'll go to 5 games and we'll have Kluber in a Game 5, but they swept them, so that's unbelievable. But the thing is, the Indians played pretty well against the Blue Jays during the regular season, and I know you throw out, you know, the regular season really doesn't mean anything come playoff time, but I think that gives the Indians a lot of confidence heading into this series. And again, I mean, the Indians just they thrive in the underdog role. I think that's really been helping them, because you look a couple of years ago and everyone picked them to, you know, be a World Series contender. Yep. They were kind of a bust. They didn't really handle being the favorites well. So I was just watching FS1, Pete Rose, Frank Thomas, Alex Rodriguez, they all picked the Blue Jays. So I think it's the best thing for the Indians to stay, you know, in that underdog role. And, hey, we'll see. You know, it's going to come down to Bauer and Tomlin. If we can get what we got out of Bauer and Tomlin in the Red Sox series, I think we win it in 7 at home, which is huge.
What would you have rather had, the Indians in the LCS or the Browns in the playoffs?
Ooh,
that is a tough question. But again, I'm going to go back to the Indians were my first love. The Indians were a lot of Cleveland fans my age. The Indians were our first love, and for me personally, I mean, there's nothing like playoff baseball. And also, if the Browns were in the playoffs, I think it's safe to say they probably wouldn't advance that far. So I think I'd go Indians LCS.
Well,
that's a tough question, though.
Let's be honest. The Browns aren't going to be in the playoffs. I mean, it's hard to even hypothetical.
I need you guys to win a game or two, Noah, because I need a higher draft pick than you.
I don't think it's going to happen. We had our chance against the Dolphins, and our field goal kicker missed 3 field goals, so that didn't happen. And, hey, I think you guys really found something in Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks really good.
He does.
So I think we're going to beat you guys out. I wouldn't bank on you guys having a worse record than us.
Of course, Cleveland's kicker would miss 3 field goals.
No, I just wanted to ask you, for people even in the Champaign area, there's a couple high school football teams we pay attention to. Just what have you made of the year around there in high school football?
In the Decatur area? Oh,
yeah.
It's been a banner year. Probably one of the best years for a Decatur area team since I've been here. St. Teresa's been phenomenal. I was shocked that Tuscola beat St. Teresa by, 21 points. I mean, I thought Tuscola had a shot. Tuscola's a really good team. But St. Teresa, how they were able to hold Jacardier Wright to 11 yards.
11 yards.
8 carries or something. That's absolutely insane. But, yeah, St. Teresa's going to be a team to watch. I think we will have a playoff rematch between Tuscola and St. Teresa if Tuscola's 1A, which I believe they should be.
Sure.
But, yeah, I mean, other teams around here, look at Maroa Forsyth. They're always good. Eisenhower's having another great year. Lon, when you were at WAND, you probably remember Eisenhower having a lot of rough seasons.
They were not good. Yeah, they were not good.
Except for the Britt Miller year, right?
Yes.
But they've been great. I mean, they're phenomenal. They play Rochester this week. That's a big game. So
awesome.
Yeah, a lot of great teams around here. But I'd bookmark St. Teresa as a possible rematch with Tuscola in the playoffs.
That'll be interesting. Noah Newman, follow him on Twitter at Noah Newman, WAND. Catch him on WAND Sports.
And Tay and J Cleveland correspondent.
You're right.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll catch up with you before the World Series, Cubs Indians.
Well, I hope so. I think it's going to happen. The Cubs are still the favorite. I like their chances. I don't think their fans should be too nervous. You know, they lost last night, but hey, worst case scenario, you go down tonight and then you have Game 5 at home with Leicester, right? So
I agree.
I wouldn't be too worried if I was a Cubs fan right now.
Great stuff, buddy. Noah Newman, thank you, sir.
All right, thanks for having me on. Go Tribe.
All right, buddy, good stuff. Noah Newman. Actually, the Cubs lost this morning correct?
Right.
To be
Yeah,
official.
I tweeted out, see you tomorrow night, and then I replied to that and said, I guess later today.
Yeah, you needed the Joe Buck line, Jack and Joe Buck line. We will see you later tonight.
Drive time coming up next. We also have Tay's Take, brought to you by DP Dough. Any random question for Lante, he'll answer it. Just tweet us at JWarnerScout, or you can text us at 359-2255.
All right, it is the Tay and J Show.
Looking outside through your beautiful windows, what you see is complemented by what's inside your home. Inside your four walls, the furnishings and decor say a lot about you. That's where the Hunter Douglas window shade experts at These Four Walls excel. Hunter Douglas window treatments can be bold and stunning or complementary and subtle. These Four Walls will work with your style and your needs. Work directly with the owner during the entire process. Every project is welcome. Visit These Four Walls in downtown Monticello and see for yourself what These Four Walls can do for you.
Norm Miller here, chairman of Interstate Batteries. You know, without batteries, life would be pretty lifeless. That's why Interstate All Battery Centers carry them in every size, shape, and style so you can drive, drill, call, film, or do whatever it is you want to do. Stop in today. They've got the power to keep you going. Interstate All Battery Center. Outrageously dependable.
Interstate All Battery Center. You'll find them outrageously dependable just over Interstate 74 at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign, with batteries for most every application in stock.
Are you sick of spending thousands of dollars a year on smoking? Sick of coughing every time you get up in the morning? Well, try Vapors E-Cigs LLC, offering the best e-cigarette kits, liquids, accessories, and refills. Using an e-cig gives you the freedom to enjoy smoking again without all the guilt and the odor. Stop into Vapors E-Cigs LLC and find out how they can help you quit smoking. Find Vapors E-Cigs in 3 convenient locations. 1903 North Neal Street, Champaign, 2 East Main Street in Danville across from the courthouse, and now open at 620 East Champaign Avenue in Rantoul.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fox News Radio, I'm Kathleen Maloney. The man who was Bill Clinton's vice president campaigning with Hillary today, hoping his signature issue excites young people to vote for her.
I don't have to tell you here in Florida that the climate crisis is real. Yes, it's true that some of your elected officials have not recognized that it's real.
Al Gore may have a role in a Clinton administration.
There isn't anybody who knows more, has done more, has worked harder. I know he was in Miami just last year, training and educating people to be climate change activists. I can't wait to have Al Gore advising me when I am president of the United States.
Clinton and Gore at a rally in Miami. Donald Trump has spent most of his time and energy today fighting fellow Republicans who are less than happy about the tone of his campaign. What Trump is threatening to do is essentially leave the Republican Party, not go to war with it. He's saying he's going to court independents. He's going to court Green Party candidates. He's going to court libertarians. Fox's Carl Cameron, while Republicans continue jumping off the Trump bandwagon, his running mate is standing with him.
When Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America, we're going to put common sense, conservative principles into practice, and we're going to get Iowa working again, and we're going to get America working again.
Pence at a rally in Des Moines. Trump will be holding an event tonight in Florida. President Obama will be speaking at a Clinton campaign event tonight. Earlier, he called Donald Trump's video comments about women repugnant and says they amount to sexual assault. Stocks take a tumble. The Dow dropping 200 points, S&P falling 27, NASDAQ losing 81. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
If you run a business, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or construction, you know that commercial vans aren't one size fits all. Some vans are too small.
We're gonna have to make 2 trips.
Others too big.
Watch the top! Watch the top!
You need a van that's just right. That's where the Mercedes-Benz Metris comes in. It's the only available mid-size commercial van with unmatched safety features, a 2,500 2-pound payload, and enough cargo space to hold over 60 sheets of 4x8 drywall. It's big enough for the job, yet it's small enough to fit in your garage. It has a service interval of up to 15,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. We won't give you a one-size-fits-all van. we'll do you one better. A commercial van that's sized just right for you. The 2016 midsize mattress. Mercedes-Benz. Vans born to run.
Both North and South Carolina are now declared disaster areas due to devastation from Hurricane Matthew. Fox's Gernal Scott has a live report.
And Kathleen, there are 2 more storm-related deaths in North Carolina, bringing the total to 17. Governor Pat McCrory says he's sharing that for a couple of reasons.
Not only we care for their families and their loved ones who are grieving, but we also want to let this be known so we prevent any future deaths as the waters rise.
Storm runoff is causing coastal flooding, so McCrory is urging those residents to leave. South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley says her state's counties close to North Carolina are also flooding.
We're seeing them 4 feet underwater and expect those things to continue over the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Deaths in South Carolina remain at 3. Thus far, Matthew has claimed 32 lives in 5 states, Kathleen.
And Grenala hurricane warning is in effect for Bermuda for another storm, Nicole, which is strengthening. A popular actress could end up behind bars.
Shailene Woodley, who plays Triss on the popular Divergent films, was arrested protesting a pipeline in North Dakota. The 24-year-old was taken into custody with 27 other people on misdemeanor charges of criminal trespass and engaging in a riot. Woodley was Facebooking the protest live when they arrested her.
All right, I'm being arrested because I was trespassing like everyone else. But as soon as you guys asked me to leave, I left.
According to Reuters, Native Americans say the pipeline will desecrate sacred land and damage the environment. The offenses carry a maximum punishment of 30 days in jail and a $1,500 fine. She was released and no court date has been set. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Federal prosecutors are going after Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio for disobeying orders to stop his immigration patrol. They plan to file criminal contempt of court charges. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News Radio.
What you got to say, Lon? Here's your ESPN Radio 3-Day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a heating or cooling expert? Chief Bauer service experts have you covered all year long. They'll keep you comfortable. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 60. Wednesday, chance of thunderstorms, high 75. That's going to bring a cold front in. I'll do my Derek Faber here. A low of 44 overnight, then a high of just 62 on Thursday, but sunny. Okay. A low of 41. Right now, sunny clear, though, 78 in Champaign-Urbana.
Let's get it on.
It is Drive Time presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit Honda BMW of Champaign for their huge inventory at the corner of Burwash and Neal in Savoy, or visit them online at Honda BMW of Champaign. Lonte, this will recap the first 2 hours of Tay and J Show.
Well, we learned that I'm 46 and I can't stay up past 9 o'clock now, so I didn't see one pitch of the Cubs game last night.
So I watched the Cubs game for you.
Right. You took one for the team.
Fed the baby at 3 a.m. Did it all.
And Clayton Kershaw just doubled. We did not learn that earlier in the day. We didn't know he was going to do that. We did, though, find out that the Cubs and Giants played until almost 2 a.m.
Yep.
What a game that featured a lot. And like you said, it was a clean game.
Yep.
And that was one thing that I'm sure, even though I didn't, I'm sure for a lot of fans, it was a fun one to watch.
Yeah, it was a great game. Obviously, the Cubs had a lot of great moments. The Arrieta home run, you thought, well, they get that on Baumgartner early in the game. They're going to win this thing.
No doubt.
And they got good pitching themselves, especially from, their starter. Arrieta did pretty well. Baez made some great plays. Almora had a great catch. Bryant's home run to tie it in the ninth inning.
How clutch is that?
Dexter Fowler was phenomenal. But the Giants matched them.
They did.
And they chased Chapman. I didn't have a problem with Madden using him the way he did. Mike Montgomery had some good innings. It was just a great baseball game.
It really was.
And if you're the Cubs, you can look at it as, well, we lost the Mad Bum game.
Sure.
That's not too big of a surprise.
No, I agree with you.
But the way you lost it, by the lead you took on them, by the chances you had to it just opened the door for a team.
I know.
That when the door opens, they take advantage of it. They're called the Cockroaches for a reason.
Isn't that funny?
Because they are better at what the Cardinals do.
Yep.
Right?
That's exactly
they
right.
have been better at that.
Yep.
They have 3 championships to prove it. When their backs are put against the wall, and there are plenty of guys on this team who have been on those championship
Sure.
teams, so it's not like it's a new team. They find a way to win these games and stay in it.
And now you got John Lackey tonight. Game's going to start by first pitch around 7:30, we'll say.
Thank God.
You've got Lackey, who, listen, let's be honest, he's built for this stuff. Couple World Series victories.
Gamer.
He's a gamer. He's a bulldog.
Hate to play against him.
Yeah.
You hate him.
Well, he just comes out and hates everything to do with anything.
He looks like a guy you don't want to hang out with.
The first pitch he doesn't get on the corner, he's ticked off the entire night with the umpire.
He's yelling at his teammates. Like Joe Madden has to walk on eggshells around him. It's like, this guy stinks.
But that's what you want. And I guarantee you, if you're a Cubs player in that locker room, first of all, you're confident because you were the best team in baseball all season. But for the most part, you're sitting there going, yep, Lack's going tonight. And if John Lackey's on the hill, we know we're going to get a great outing out of him.
And you got 2 more games.
Sure.
Yeah, 2 more games to close this
2
out.
to win one at home, too.
Including John Lester on the mound for the next game if you get there. You'll want to pay attention to the Dodgers-Nationals game, which is going on now. It's 2-2. Kershaw's given up 2 runs, so is Joe Ross, and the Dodgers threatening Joe Ross yet again in the 3rd inning of this one, because if the Nationals win today, Scherzer will be set up for 3 starts possible.
Okay.
In the next round. If the Dodgers win today, Scherzer will go game 5. That means he can only go game 2 games if the Nationals end up winning this series, and I think the Nationals are the better team.
I do
here.
too.
So it's worth watching, because if the Dodgers extend this series, the Cubs might get a little help if the Cubs end up advancing.
That's a good point.
We also talked some Illini football with Jay Lehman, Big Ten Network. He had a couple quotes that I found very interesting.
Okay.
He said, it's a pretty sad state of affairs, Illinois losing to Purdue. It's a crisis of confidence.
Wow.
This team's lacking some confidence. They're also lacking some killer instinct that I don't know if they showed up for this game. They thought they were going to win it, and they didn't end up. They were too lax for it. Illinois, just one of those programs that just finds ways to lose. There's no other way to say it.
And it's so frustrating, right?
But he's saying it like it is.
Yep.
And no, I know that I got a couple of tweets saying, give Lovey some time. No, he said Lovey's probably going to turn it around.
Yes.
But it's going to take time. It's going to take new recruits, better players.
Right.
That's what you're looking at right now.
If you lose to Penn State Saturday, then I say, but whatever. I mean, you're losing to Purdue, though. I mean, let's be honest. I know Lovey. This isn't a rip on Lovey. I know it's going to take time for that. But even in the meantime, you shouldn't lose to that Purdue team at home. And that's really, really frustrating for Illini fans. And it was very frustrating for me watching that game. I mean, when it ended, and I was just sitting there thinking, they just lost to Purdue.
Yeah.
I mean, this is terrible. And now you go up against a Rutgers team that is worse than terrible, and you hope that you can beat them, because if you don't, guess what? You're the worst team in the Big Ten. And I did not see that this year. I just didn't see it.
No, I agree with you. I think this team's underachieved.
Yes.
And
agree.
there are discipline issues when it comes to the penalties.
No
and
doubt.
the defense has regressed.
Yep.
And I didn't expect those 2 things. They're short-term concerns. It doesn't mean that I don't think Lovey's going to succeed here. I think he's going to bring better athletes. He doesn't have any of his recruits outside of Hardy Nickerson here yet. So he's actually, year 1 is basically going to be next year.
Right. Exactly.
This is kind of a weird year, right? Because of when he was hired.
Welcome to Illinois football.
Couldn't recruit his only class.
Sure.
His own class like Chris Ash could at Rutgers, or the Maryland coach DJ Durkin could. They're behind.
Yep.
And they're still behind, so this is going to take some time.
You asked me who I would start, Crouch or Lunt, on Saturday. Surprisingly, for me even, I said Chase Crouch.
Yeah.
If
Lunt's healthy, that's what we say. Like, if he's not healthy, obviously, if he's 60-70%,
right,
you go with Chase Crouch regardless, because he gives you a better chance. But I just think for this team, if Illinois was Michigan State,
he helps cover up some holes.
If Illinois was Michigan State, you start Wes Lunt.
Yeah.
Because Wes Lunt can succeed with that kind of team, and I think Michigan State would love him. But with Illinois not having good receivers, not having good tight ends, not having a good offensive line, I think Crouch is the guy. I think he gives you a better chance.
I do too, and he impressed me with a couple of throws the other day as well. So I guess maybe that showed me. In fact, if nothing else, it told me, all right, now I'm a little bit, my interest has been piqued a little to see how Chase Crouch can throw the ball. Because like you said earlier, are you playing for the future now? I mean, Wes Lunt isn't your future. He's not going to be here next year. Chase Crouch will be. Now, we assume there'll be other competition for that starting quarterback spot, but we assume Chase Crouch will be here. So do you want to get an idea of what he's like and look at him a little bit more? Now you got the chance.
Because Wes Hunt is not your future.
No.
I don't know if Chase Crouch is because they're trying to recruit over him, but he might be.
Sure.
He might be.
Just
announced the Big Ten basketball preseason honors. Malcolm Hill, preseason All-Big Ten selection, not a surprise, out of 10. James Blackman Jr., Thomas Bryant, both of Indiana. Peter Jock of Iowa. Noah Trimble of Maryland. Derek Walton Jr. of Michigan.
Interesting.
Caleb Swanigan, Purdue. Ethan Hatt, Nigel Hayes, Bronson Koenig, Wisconsin. Nigel Hayes, the only unanimous selection.
Really?
Yeah.
Bronson Koenig?
And Nigel Hayes was the Big Ten preseason player of the year.
Really? That
I think Koenig's a better player.
I do too.
I think Happ's a better player than Nigel Hayes.
I do too.
If it wasn't Koenig, which I understand people who wouldn't pick him, for me it would have been Noah Trimble.
Yeah.
Or
that's interesting. Well, Nigel's. I mean, he's
Thomas
done it.
Bryant?
He's done it every year.
But he was not good.
No, he wasn't
year.
good. He didn't have a good year last year, but he's been good his entire career. So maybe they think this is the year he turns it back.
Third best player on that team.
No, that's
Fourth
amazing.
Best player on that team.
That's amazing. Yeah,
I mean, Happ and Koenig are better, but good for Malcolm Hill. Great that he's getting that honor because he deserves that kind of recognition despite what his team has done the last couple of years.
That is really cool.
That's Drive Time presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory. Huge. At the corner of Burwash and Neal and Savoy, or visit them online at bmwofchampaign.com.
All right, it's time to do some business. Hey, as we observe National Cyber Security Awareness Month in October, Busey is empowering consumers to take an active role in protecting their privacy. Why? Because 13.1 million people are victims of identity theft each year. 13.1 million. Every 2 seconds, in fact, another American becomes a victim of this crime. Criminals, they can open credit cards, they can apply for a loan, they can even rent an apartment in your good name. So how do you protect your finances? Busey has tips to protect yourself online. Password protect your devices. Use unique, complicated passwords for online accounts, not your kid's name or your dog's name or something like that. Never log into financial accounts to shop online using public Wi-Fi. Ensure that the home internet is password protected, and review your credit report annually and bank accounts regularly. That's very important. Sit down and do that to make sure nothing is missing. With constant changes in technology, there's always new ways for risk. The best way to protect yourself is to be proactive. You can do that with Busey. Just visit them at Busey.com. Tay's Take later on. More Sports Talk next. Tay and J Show.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
Last night here in Charlotte, we got another reminder why you should enjoy every great season your sports team gives you, because you just never know when you'll get another one. Our Panthers went 15-1 last season, went to the Super Bowl. Carolina fans here and around the Queen City had no reason to think it might not happen again. Everybody of importance, except for Josh Norman, was back, and Cam Newton got the healthy return of a true number one receiver, Kelvin Benjamin. Yet now they're 1-4. And the regression is staggering. Obviously, the lack of Cam Newton last night impacts things, and there have been some injuries, but welcome to football. Go beyond that, though. The sloppiness, the stupid, undisciplined penalties, the lack of big stops on defense. What we saw on the field last night couldn't look more different than what we saw in Charlotte last season. Who knows when this team reaches another Super Bowl? I just hope the Panther fan base adequately enjoyed last season. Nothing in sports is guaranteed. In 60 seconds, man, I'll miss him.
Hi, this is Lori Grenier. You've seen me on Shark Tank. One obstacle many small businesses face is that getting the capital they need can be a difficult task. That's where Cabbage comes in. Cabbage provides simple, flexible access to a line of credit up to $100,000. They have helped 80,000 businesses with over $2 billion in funding. Go to Cabbage.com or call 888-CABBAGE. You'll get a decision in minutes and can start using your funds immediately. Access your line from a phone or computer and only pay for what you take. Make Cabbage your first resort for business funding.
The thought of cold weather is, well, chilling. But not as chilling as the feeling you get when your battery fails on the road on cold, dark nights. That's why AutoZone is your home for tough Duralast batteries. They're tested to perform in temperatures 40 below zero and engineered to deliver more power during startup. So no matter how cold it might get, the thought of having a proven tough Duralast battery can keep you warm. With our help, you can always fix your car with confidence. Hoods up, America.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
I sure hope baseball gets more players like him, and soon. Last night, David Ortiz's career ended when his Red Sox lost to the Indians. And while I love the Cleveland story and I'm happy for Terry Francona, who got to knock out the team he led to 2 titles, I'm gonna miss Big Papi. He was the perfect combination of the man who loved the game, loved his teammates, loved the media, and who loved to smile. David Ortiz seemed to know he was playing a kid's game for millions and truly seemed to never take that for granted. Nowadays, too many professional athletes seem to forget how lucky they are to do what they do, living the dream of just about every grown man in this country, complaining about money, calls, coaching decisions, you name it, but not Big Papi, who was a joy to watch, to follow, and to root for. Papi, thanks for making this game so fun for us to watch for so long. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. Finding the perfect solution for you, guiding you through the options, helping you through a claim, and adapting to your evolving needs. Since 1997, GTPS Insurance has provided coverage for your car, your home, your business, and your life. As an independent broker, GTPS Insurance Agency will shop around until they find the right coverage at the best price. Contact a GTPS Insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at GTPSinsurance.com.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Mortgage rates have dropped again. In fact, recently mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. Now is the time for you to take advantage of these historically low rates and save serious money every month by refinancing your mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%. APR 3.57%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how far we can lower your mortgage payment. For 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. This ultra-low rate of 3.5% won't last long. So call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Your passion is what makes your business successful. You're completely invested in the needs of today and your dreams for tomorrow. Whether you want to expand your business or streamline operations, Busey offers business and wealth management solutions to meet your needs and achieve your dreams. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Join the Fighting Illini women's basketball team, ShambanaMoms.com, U of I Credit Union, and this station for our annual Trick-or-Treating with the Stars event. It happens Sunday, October 23rd from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Ubben Practice Facility on 4th and St. Mary's in Champaign. I'm sophomore point guard Jalen Kirkpatrick with the U of I women's basketball team. This family-friendly event allows your kids a safe environment to trick-or-treat, visit with cartoon characters, and the U of I women's basketball team. Don't miss it. Trick-or-Treating with the Stars, Sunday, October 23rd from 3 to 5 in Champaign.
The CU Elks Lodge is hosting their Kids Coat Drive for the 6th year in a row. They are looking for coats sizes 5 through 16 to donate to 7 schools that need assistance. Donate anytime Tuesday through Sunday between October 17th and October 31st from 3 to 8 p.m.
There's a drive-through special Friday, October 21st from 8 to noon, then 2 to 5.
Keep kids warm this winter with CU Elks Lodge at 903 North Dunlap in Savoy. For questions about CU Elks Club Coat Drive, call Mary at 493-6026.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We're offering a great new deal on qualifying Train heating and cooling systems. For a limited time, you can play the Train Big Game promotion by scratching off a trade-in allowance up to $2,000. Or you can choose another way to save. Get 0% interest for 5 years. That's no interest with equal payments and approved credit for 5 years on any qualifying Train system. Both options are for a limited time. So pick your best deal, up to $2,000 trade-in allowance or 0% interest for 5 years. Call 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or find us online at landsinc.com. And remember, it's hard to stop the train. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Sealands, your independent train dealer for program details. Call 888-534-6894 about credit costs and terms. Regular APR is 28.99% for newly opened accounts. Subject to credit approval. Offer expires December 15, 2016.
Hello, this is Shane Coulter from Country Arbors Nursery. Country Arbors is having our biggest sale of the year. Every plant in the nursery is at least 20% off, with select plants up to 50% off. These aren't merely leftover plants from the spring. We've been bringing in fresh new plants to keep the nursery fully stocked for the last big push going into winter. The best time to plant is now. Less transplant shock and less money. So come out to Country Arbors Nursery for the best selection of trees, shrubs, and perennials, and they're all on sale. For more information and directions, go to countryarbors.com. I'm Shane Coulter from Country Arbors Nursery, and have a nice day.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What'll he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
There he is.
My bad.
No, you're good. I thought maybe my headphones weren't working for a second. I was going to power on through. Don't know what I'm saying, but I'm saying it on the air.
Just roll with it.
From the Sports Center Update Studio, I'm James Woodard with your 523 Sports Center Update. Illinois Golf dominated the Northern Intercollegiate Tournament, winning by 53 strokes. Giovanni Tadiotto, the freshman individual entrant there, he wins 500 par. Illinois had the top 4 finishers, 5 of the top 10. Illini women's basketball landed a top 100 recruit with point guard Shanice Lewis committing yesterday. Baseball was busy last night. We get the ALCS all set. The Blue Jays and the Indians. Red Sox swept out of the playoffs, losing 4-3 last night. Big Papi ended his career with a walk in his final at-bat. Chicago dropped Game 3 to the Giants in 13 innings. Joe Panik, a walk-off double, coming off Mike Montgomery. Jake Arrieta had a decent outing, 6 innings, 2-run ball, and he did have a 3-run homer. The first time Madison Bumgarner has ever given up a home run to a pitcher. Chris Bryant had a 2-run homer in the 9th. That tied the game up to 4 extras. Game 4 tonight, John Lackey taking the mound opposite lefty Matt Moore. The Dodgers and the Nationals are currently playing. The Dodgers are up 3-2, bottom of the third. Bases loaded, 2 outs, according to what I've got here.
That's correct.
All right. Sometimes the at-bat app's a little slower than everything else, the internet and whatnot. So Dodgers looking to tie that series up 2-2. NFL news, 49ers have announced that Colin Kaepernick will get his start this week over Blaine Gabbert. Blackhawks get their season opened up tomorrow night against St. Louis. Blues knocking the Blackhawks out of the playoffs last season.
Yeah, baby.
I'm James Woodard with your Sports Center update.
Well, I can't believe I'm just a few days away from Warrant! Live.
Not turning people's mics on.
I don't know what I'm doing. This is my show, dang it.
Would you rather go see Warrant or go with me to see Green Day? We talked about that yesterday.
Warrant. In a heartbeat.
Obviously, the better band is Green Day.
No doubt.
Up Juan's Alley is Warrant.
Why would you say that when you know that they've been headlining festivals, casinos, and fairs all over the country?
That's true.
In support of their race.
You didn't ask me to go see Warrant. I just would rather go to Green Day.
Yeah, no,
but
right.
Warrant's going to be a heck of a show.
I cannot wait to. It's CD. I mean, listen, they've got a new CD called Rockaholic. 125 plus shows so far and counting. The band's fired up, tighter than ever. They'll be playing this Friday night at 7 o'clock at City Center. People like me will be there. Buy tickets now at ESPNCU.com. Just click the Warrant logo or listen the week of October 10th. That's this week for free tickets. Warrant live in Kent's Air.
You are so excited for that.
Yeah, man.
It's awesome.
All right.
What 80s band would you want to see most?
Probably GNR.
Guns N' Roses?
GNR would probably be the
second tier 80s band.
Oh.
Hair metal. Like Rat.
Rat would be up there. Who else would be up there? Great White. I think they'd be second tier for sure. Poison, they're top tier, right?
Yeah, Poison would be.
Poison's top tier.
Is Quiet Riot up there?
No. I was never a big Quiet Riot guy.
Cinderella. I mean, the top tier would be Crew.
Motley Crue, Scorps, Skid Row. No, Skid would be.
I would go see Skid Row.
I'm sorry, Skid would be second level. Yeah, baby. Skid Row would be the band. They're second level. That's the band I'd want to see.
Winger.
Winger, baby. Kip Winger.
Dokken.
No, I saw them.
All right, Jovi would be top tier.
Yes. I told you the Dokken, when they came here with Scorps, it was Scorps and, now I'm going to forget it. Doesn't matter. I'll think of it in a minute.
Whitesnake.
Thank you. Yes! So it was those three and Dokken. So I'm there for the Dokken and that dude, Dokken, I can't think of his first name. So nobody's like really getting into his music. And he like said some really profane things about Champaign-Urbana. And right after he said it, everybody's like, yeah. So he sang one more song and he just got
out of there.
He just got out of there.
Thought he was such a big deal.
Yes.
And Champagne just humbled him so much.
It totally did.
A Wasp?
No, not a Wasp fan.
Night Ranger?
Ooh, they had, is that the Sister Christian?
Yeah.
Sister Christian.
Twisted Sister?
No, I'm not a Twisted Sister guy.
Van Halen, I don't know if it's hair metal, but that band would obviously be top tier. Def Leppard would be top tier.
Yes.
Guns N' Roses top tier. Poison, Motley Crue.
GNR.
I mean, obviously some of those bands are better than the others, but I'm just talking how big they were.
GNR that'd be the band that I would want to see the most. I think of all those. Now, I'm a huge Scorps fan. That's my favorite band. But I think GNR, I've never seen them, and I think that would be awesome to see Guns N' Roses if everybody was together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be awesome. I think that would be fantastic.
I've seen Bon Jovi play twice.
I saw Bon Jovi down at SIU.
Pretty good.
Yeah. REM, I went to REM. They were pretty good.
Yeah. I will give, who's the guitarist in Bon Jovi?
Sambourne, is that right?
Yeah,
No.
Richie Sambora.
Yeah, Richie Sambourne.
He's got a better voice than John Bon Jovi.
You think so?
Oh, he kills it.
He does? Okay.
He kills it there, and he kills it in other areas of his life, too.
Yes, he does. He's never had a problem. Those guys usually don't have any problems.
No.
Not at all. No, that would be definitely, that'd be fun. I'd need to go see Warrant.
We have Tay's Take at 5:45. If you have any random questions for Lon Tay, you can send them to us. You can tweet me at JWarnerScout, or you can text 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. We haven't brought this up. Illinois football, for the homecoming game, is going to host two big prospects out of Texas. Nelson Ambassador. He's a defensive end formerly committed to Oklahoma State. He has some big-time offers, a top 60 defensive end in the country. And then last night, Devadrick Johnson, a top 150 prospect in the country out of Texas. He is going to visit Illinois as well for an official visit. Was once committed to Texas A&M.
Wow.
He's got offers from Texas Tech. Texas is lurking there.
Okay.
But he's going to announce on November 4th, so just after his Illinois visit.
He's a linebacker?
A linebacker, could play safety as well. He plays quarterback for his high school. He's 6'2",
Does he really?
6'2", 210, runs a really fast 40. This still shows you of how the door is open with Lovey.
Yes.
Right? You've opened doors with Lovey. You're getting prospects on campus that really you just weren't getting.
No, I agree.
For Tim Beckman. So you get him on campus, you got a shot. Right? That is the biggest thing is you have the door open, then it's the staff's job to close. But the Lovie Smith name is getting these type of kids on campus. And even a bad season, I still think he's going to get those guys on campus just like Ron Zook did.
I do too. And it's interesting because a lot of times, you think of recruits and we say, they understand what's going on. They understand if you're not winning games. And then there's other examples of maybe this kid, if he's a top 150 and he ends up committing to Lovie Smith, where you sit there and say, well, hold on a second. Illinois hasn't been winning games. Why is he doing this? Well, he's doing it because of Lovie. Mm-hmm. That's exactly why. And, of course, we knew Lovie Smith being from Texas, you knew eventually he's going to get into that Texas, to the state of Texas, and bring a few here.
Yeah, and they just hosted Reggie Roberson, who's a Kansas commit. And I think this is just me. Reggie hasn't told me this. I think Illinois leads there.
Okay.
Wow. So he hasn't made a decision, but he had a great I talked with him. He's going to be a broadcast major.
Oh, cool.
And I told him he's going to do really well because I just did a huge Q&A with him because he just is so well-spoken.
Awesome.
But he said Illinois has made it a hard decision.
He's a running back.
Wide receiver.
Oh, wide receiver.
Wide receiver, slot, runs ridiculous 40 time. You watch his film. He's really good. He's better than the offers he has. But Illinois has done a really good job there. So I think they got a real good shot at landing a kid like that. And obviously wide receivers in an area where these kids can come in and play right away. So is defensive end.
Right.
So is cornerback. Larry Boyd's going to come in and play right away. There's a lot of playing time on this team.
Huge. What is the one position that you're worried? I know it's going to be on defense, I think. What's the one position you're worried that thus far they haven't gotten a commitment, or maybe they're not as strong with even guys they're wanting to bring in?
Defensive end.
Okay.
Larry Oladipo was a nice start. He's one.
Okay.
Their defensive end depth chart, I don't think any of those guys are starters.
Okay. Wow.
At the Big Ten level. Larry Oladipo eventually will be.
Yeah.
But is he going to have to start as a true freshman?
What do you do next
They're looking at some JUCOs.
Okay.
They're going to look at some JUCOs at a couple positions that we've talked about, and that includes cornerback, where they don't feel comfortable with what they have. They need some more talent there, though. They have a couple guys in this class that I like. Tony Adams being one of them, that tore his ACL.
Kid out of Missouri, right?
Antoine Collier out of Florida. I think he could play right now for them. So there's a couple. I think they're still upping the talent level, but they got so far to go when it comes to the depth chart. Quarterback, they're going to look at JUCOs. They're going to look at grad transfers. Offensive line, they'll look at JUCOs and grad transfers to add some strength up front. But I like how they've started their offensive line. Wide receiver, they're to a great start. Ricky Smalling is a heck of a player.
Yes.
He would play. He would start, right?
Wow.
He'd be the best or second best receiver in Illinois.
Isn't that unbelievable? Okay.
That's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right. No, right. Yeah, that's good and bad.
That's a good thing and a bad thing. Tight end.
Yeah.
They got some young guys, but Zarian Holcomb looks more like a wide receiver to me than a tight end.
I agree.
Andrew Traynor, I think, eventually could bulk up to be an offensive tackle. But I don't think he will for these guys.
They had the kid from Kentucky, right, that came in and looked, but that's probably moved on from that.
I think they were probably in the right to move on.
Okay.
He went to Akron.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not like they were missing something big there that someone else was taking.
Right.
Griffin Palmer out of St. Louis, I think that's a kid who's going to eventually be really good.
Okay.
But you got him and Caleb Reams are your future, and Reams is barely playing this year.
Wow.
So that's a position that kind of goes under the radar where Illinois needs to improve a lot, and I just don't see any targets out there right now that are really big for Illinois.
That's the thing, and of course Lovey is trying to piece together this staff now, and he hasn't had a lot of time to do it. It was amazing how he was here for almost 3 months and hadn't even left campus yet.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't physically go see recruits.
Where you're at in recruiting right now is you kind of had the initial push where they just got on the road, like the assistants did, met everybody. Summer, you get kids on campus for camps. You go to the satellite camps. Then you start getting kids for, commit. And they had that big string of commitments right before the season in August where they did really well. And then you kind of have the season start. And then you kind of have a lull.
Sure.
And now you're starting to get kids back on campus. This is a big time because kids are starting to make decisions now, your top kids, but also at the same time, Illinois got to get to its B list.
Right.
Because even if you are a great school, at some point you got to go to kids who you didn't originally want to offer.
I get it.
You evaluate them more, and maybe they're better than you originally thought. Or maybe you just got to realize that, okay, we're not getting our top targets at this position. Let's move on to the next string of guys who maybe we thought could be Big Ten players.
Sure.
But now we think better of, or this is the best we can do at that position.
That's fair.
That's where they're at right now. And then obviously the winter comes, and that's where you get kids who can flip, or you're just really making a push for those last guys you want to add.
You have to give, I think, Bill Cuban and even Tim Beckman, they always seem to come up with a surprise on signing day. I'm not saying they were flipping guys, but
the last couple of years, because Keyshawn was one.
Okay.
And DeLay Harding.
Okay.
That was a huge one.
You think Lovey could be even better at that game?
Yeah.
I mean, so you almost expect that probably.
Yeah, I think one of some of their biggest targets are kids who committed right now.
Okay.
Because that's the recruiting game.
Sure.
With no early signing period, but you're also going to get it the other way.
Yep.
Carmani Green's getting a lot of interest out there right now.
I bet.
An Illinois commit. Antoine Collier is getting a lot of attention right now.
Yes, he is.
So usually you're going to lose some of your commits.
Okay.
Those are the two guys I would look at now who are taking their official visits elsewhere. That's usually a telltale sign that they're still open in the process. Those are two guys who are still going to take their official visits, but Illinois knew that when they committed. So
I think football recruiting, classes can be up to 25 sometimes?
Yeah, Illinois wants to sign 25.
Okay, so this is going to be, now next year would be a smaller class.
Next year's going to be between 10 and 15.
Wow. Okay, so then you're really targeting who you want.
You're really
there.
picky.
Yes, exactly.
This class, they're still being picky. I don't want to give that
agree.
impression that they're not, but they're a little less picky than they will be next year. And some people have asked me, could they just like basketball, do you not take a guy so you don't fill the scholarships up? They need players.
Yeah, they do.
They need good football players, and they need a good start. Because like I said, they're basically year one, we got to approach is next year.
Yes, correct.
Because this will be their first recruiting class.
Mm-hmm.
Rutgers, Maryland, who have new coaches, they already have a recruiting class in place. So they're actually going to be farther ahead in their rebuild than they are. So Illinois wants players.
Okay.
They want good players that they've recruited who fit their scheme.
359-2255, 217-359-2255. That's the Chief Bauer text line. Heath asked, Jeremy, do you like Cam Thomas or Quincy Patterson better? Those are two quarterbacks, I assume.
Cam Thomas is the 2017 quarterback commit that Illinois got. Illinois was his first offer. And his team is really bad, his high school team. Cam is a very toolsy prospect.
Yep.
I've seen him in person, and though I'm not the best football expert, he's got what Illinois is looking for when it comes to tools. He runs a 4.5 40. Right there, that opens your eyes. He's a long kid. He's smart. He's got a pretty good arm, and he's progressed a lot.
Okay.
But his high school team is really bad.
Yeah.
So people look at his stats. They look at his team's record. They play in one of the best conferences in the state of Illinois. He plays with Marian Catholic.
Ooh.
Most of his teammates went to Homewood Flossmoor.
Okay.
And Homewood Flossmoor is awesome.
Wow.
Some people around Cam wanted Cam to go to Homewood Flossmoor as well.
Stuck?
And he stayed because he wanted to be loyal to his teammates who stayed at Marian Catholic, but it's probably put back his development a little bit. So I think he's 2 years away.
Okay.
Quincy Patterson is out of Chicago Solorio. He's got offers from Penn State, Illinois, Mississippi State just offered, Indiana, Northwestern. Though Northwestern offered him as a tight end, which makes no sense to me. But Illinois has done really well there.
Okay.
Quincy's a 2018 kid.
Okay.
But if you ask me in 2018 who's more likely to play, Quincy or Cam, I'll go Quincy.
Wow. All right, so
Quincy's bigger, 6'3", 225. He's got a lot of Juice Williams to him.
Fair enough.
Now, would I want Quincy to be my starting quarterback in 2018? Maybe not.
Okay.
But I think him and Cam are kind of on the same developmental path because Quincy's just bigger, stronger, and has a better team around him.
Another guy said linebacker with speed is the kid from Texas. I assume he's got some speed. Yeah.
Devondre Johnson is one of those kids with speed. Mark Mondesir is a linebacker with speed that's committed to Illinois. 6'2", 210, runs a 4.5 40.
Wow.
So that's what they want. You're going to see it. Even if these kids don't have huge offers, you're going to notice with Illinois, they're long, they're fast, or they're big.
Fair enough.
Right? I mean, Vidarian Lowe is 6'5", 345 pounds. Larry Boyd is 6'5", 330 pounds. So they're not going to get kids who are just good high school players. They're going to get kids who have Big Ten speed, Big Ten length, Big Ten strength, and then they're going to try and coach them up. That is because what's the point of taking a 5'8", 180-pound defensive back?
No.
Even if he's fast enough, he's just not long enough to be a really good cornerback.
You got to compete, and you need weapons if you're going to compete in the Big Ten and college football's echelon for sure. You're heading over there to talk to the guys right now.
Hoping to talk to Chase Crouch.
Okay.
Hoping to talk to Keyshawn Vaughn. And if Westlaund's available, we'll try and talk to him too.
What's your first question to Keyshawn?
Hey, so what's the last couple of weeks been like?
That's fair.
What's the last couple of weeks been like?
I mean, I hate it. I mean, I hate it for these kids. Number one, they're kids.
Garrick McGee said we need him.
Yeah,
we're going to need him because we got two smaller running backs.
Sure,
right, and we're going to need him at some point. He's a really good player. What he said is he's got to be a better teammate.
Okay,
so I think that tells you that
it would be a cool story by his senior year that he was back in the number one running back spot and running for 1,000 yards. It'd be a cool story.
That'd be cool if he could be a big part of this team.
Sure.
He could be a big part of next year's
Absolutely.
team. Right? Well, I mean, he's a really good running back, and you need more than one of them.
You do. So you're getting out of here. Austin's going to pop in and do Tay's Take with me. We may even talk a little Cubs. I'll let him talk some Cubs since they've got the game tonight that I'm actually going to watch. We'll do all that next. It is the Tay and J Show.
When you need hit music, you need Champaign-Urbana's hit music station. All the hits, Q96, where they start every workday with a Q96-minute music marathon. A proud sister station to ESPN Radio 93.5. Check out the new Honda BMW of Champaign, formerly Twin City Honda BMW and still located in Savoy. These guys are crazy for used vehicles. Truckloads of pre-owned vehicles, 25 to 50% off the price of a similar new model. And not just Hondas and BMWs, cars, pickup trucks, and SUVs of all makes. Financing options on used cars as low as 1.9%. Just drive by Honda BMW of Champaign and you'll see from the street that this is a new dealership. Honda BMW of Champaign, online at drivechampaign.com.
Your local independent Pekin Insurance agent is part of your hometown. They're your friends and neighbors. They know you and your community. So when it comes to the right insurance coverage at the right price, you'll want to talk with the folks you can trust. Ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about the affordable insurance coverage for your car, your home, your business, and your family. They'll help you protect what matters most. And you can always count on beyond the expected service and coverage from Pekin Insurance. To find an agent near you, visit www.pekininsurance.com.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. What will you do during the next market correction? At Provident, we believe a sound financial plan is the surest way to avoid panic during market volatility. Contact us today to put a plan in place for you. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hook up with Jazz during the second annual Champaign-Urbana Jazz Festival on October 13th through 16th. You can explore the electronic trio Stream of Consciousness or come play at the Friday night jam session. John Mulder Quartet headlines Saturday, October 15th, and taste the exclusive menu at the Jazz Lunch Sunday, October 16th. CU Jazz Fest is proud to partner with Van Doren, the University of Illinois, and the Upper Bow. For tickets and lineup information, find us on Facebook or simply Google CU Jazz Fest.
Sports fans, football season is here, and it's time to make it rain. Build your bankroll like the pros at MyBookie.lv. An industry-leading website, MyBookie offers real Vegas odds and incredible player props. Sick and tired of getting the runaround when you're ready to get paid? Join MyBookie today for fast, no-hassle payouts. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar, up to $1,000. Act now and receive an additional 10% bonus when you join and deposit within the next 30 minutes. Enter promo code RADIO. Pull out your smartphone and sign up with their user-friendly mobile site for adrenaline on demand. Did the game already kick off? Don't sweat it. MyBookie has live in-game action with odds updated in real time. Visit MyBookie today. Use promo code RADIO to claim your 100% bonus before it's too late. Or call 844-900-BETS to open your account and start winning. Play with the biggest, win with the best. Only at MyBookie.lv.
Hi, I'm Gary Knight from Carmack Honda in Danville. Just 40 years ago, Carmack Honda delivered our first 1976 Honda Accord and has been recognized as an award-winning family sedan ever since. Safety, dependability, and fuel efficiency make people love their Hondas, and Cub fans love their Cubbies, and only a way Cub fans can believe. So when you're shopping for a new Honda, believe in Carmack Honda to get you the very best price, service, and selection. Check us out today at CarmackHonda.com.
Well, every month we tip our hat and we salute and we thank law enforcement for the great work that they do 24/7 to protect and serve. Our law enforcement official of the month is Officer Michelle Schroeder, University of Illinois Police. You know people appreciate you, but you also know that when you go out every day, do you think, say, you know, it's a wacky, crazy people. Do you think any differently than you did when you started 15 years ago?
I think I definitely do. I think times have definitely changed. Things seem a lot more dangerous just with everything going on with law enforcement today. It makes me a little bit more nervous than it did before.
Yeah. Okay. And you recently got married?
I did.
Well,
yes.
How's that?
It's been great.
Okay.
Yes.
And your husband is in law enforcement?
Yes.
What's the dynamic of that? You both certainly understand what you're doing every day. You're in the work.
I think it's important to have the balance, but it definitely helps to have somebody who understands the nature of the job that you can talk to.
Law Enforcement Official of the Month brought to you by SK Home Improvement. SK Fencing, Siding, Roofing, and more. Visit SKHomeImprovement.com.
Illini Smiles Dental is accepting new patients. Call 356-3335 to schedule an appointment today. At Illini Smiles Dental, they have one focus, and that's you. They focus on providing personalized and detail-oriented family and general dentistry with the highest level of patient satisfaction. With a variety of services offered, Dr. Shu and Dr. Fott are confident that you will feel right at home at Illini Smiles Dental Care. Whether you need a cleaning, implants, dentures, and partials, same-day emergency surgery, or anything in between, Illini Smiles Dental Care is who you need to call. And new patients who schedule an appointment in the month of October get a free fluoride treatment at the time of cleaning, or commit to an orthodontic treatment in October and receive a choice between an electronic Oral-B Pro 5000 toothbrush or take home a teeth whitening kit with trays. Call Illini Smiles Dental at 356-3335 or schedule your your appointment online at IlliniSmilesDental.com.
Hi, it's Corey with Max Twin City Recycling. We pride ourselves on giving the area an outlet to recycle and get paid for their unwanted dentals. We're taking our community focus a step further with our Recycling for a Cause program. Each month, Max Twin City will choose a different local charity to feature in an effort to raise money for those causes. Visit maxrecycling.com for a complete list of program details.
Hi, my name is Fred Wakefield. I'm a former Fighting Illini football player, 8-year NFL veteran, and now a graduate of the University of Illinois MBA program. I decided to get MBA because before I was ever a professional athlete, I was a student and someone wanting to really go into the business world. The best part about the MBA experience with the University of Illinois was the people involved in the program. Professors who were absolutely outstanding, fellow students who I still lean on a regular basis. I would definitely recommend Illinois' MBA program. Talked to a few different people about it. One guy actually played in the NFL for a number of years and called and asked about it. And I know that it's a program that continues to grow. I just think it's made a world of difference for me, and it will continue to as I progress through life and business. My University of Illinois MBA has allowed me not just the confidence, but also the tools to be able to move forward and continue to grow in business.
Earn your professional MBA 2 nights a week. Find out more at professionalmba.illinois.edu. That's professionalmba.illinois.edu.
Thinking of quitting your job one day? You will need a good wealth advisor at a strong financial institution to help make that happen. Heartland Bank's wealth management team will discuss your long-term objectives, then help you develop and implement a strategy to achieve your goals. Call or visit Heartland Bank online at hptbank.com.
Securities and insurance products are not deposits of Heartland Bank, not FDIC insured, not guaranteed by or obligations of the bank, and are subject to potential fluctuation in return and possible loss of principal.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Warrant live in concert. City Center. Should I go to that?
Of course.
I know it. Just to hear Cherry Pie.
It's like going to a Nico and Ben's concert for you. Play Am I Wrong? Play Cherry Pie Warrant.
Play it one more time.
I don't care about Rockaholic.
Right.
Play your classic.
All right, that is Austin Berkland. I'm Lon Tay. Cubs tonight. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes here, and then we're going to get to Tay's take. Cubbies tonight. How nervous are you? 1 to 10, 10 being you're hardly able to watch.
So the Cubs haven't really got swept much this year.
No.
And it's been like 2, 3, 4 times maybe, and then that was mostly during the 24 and 24 game stretch before the All-Star break.
Got it.
So I'm not too nervous because the Cubs have the pitching not to get swept, and it's essentially a 3-game series right now.
Right.
But you only have to win 1.
That's true.
So just win 1, and that'll be the end of it. And Lackey is the perfect guy on the mound. He's had the rest. He has that arm, so I'm very confident.
So you said it's a 3-game series. You were counting last night.
Yes.
Fair enough. So you got one more in San Francisco tonight. And then so it's Lackey and Matt Moore, the lefty. And then you've got Lester and Cueto. Cueto was really good. I know Lester was really good. I'm not saying Lester was unbelievable, but on the flip side, Cueto was really good.
Cueto wasn't putting balls in play what Lester was, so that's why Cueto was a little more dominant.
That's true. And I tell you what, you couldn't catch up with him.
No, because he changes pace so much.
He's weird.
He does a quick pitch, and then he does that little shimmy where the ball is.
It's weird.
Really where second base is, and then he does that shimmy, and then he brings the ball in. Then you're like, okay, I got that.
And then
timing.
Baez timed it.
Yeah,
I thought that ball was out of Wrigley Field when he hit it.
I know.
I mean, if the wind is just normal and or blowing out, that ball reaches Lake Michigan, I think.
The Fox camera angle was just, it was at the skyscrapers.
I agree. It's crazy. All right, you ready for Tay's Take?
Let's do it.
Filling in for Jeremy. Here we go. 80s music, baby.
What you feeling, huh? What's on your mind, huh? I think I have too much information stored in my brain. It's an interesting theory.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual. Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Woo! It is time for Tay's Take, as always, brought to you by DP Dough. Up late last night?
I was.
Would have been a perfect time for DP Dough. Check them out on campus. DP Dough. Go ahead.
All right.
Here we go.
The first question comes from Mr. Squared on Twitter.
Okay.
It says, does goat cheese taste different than cow cheese? If so, why?
You know what's... There's some irony in this. Cheese. I don't buy cheese often.
Okay.
I only like two things of cheese. I like American singles that I put on like grilled cheese and or cheeseburgers. The only other cheese that I eat is called smoked cheese, and it's got to be Swiss and cheddar together.
Interesting.
And today, before the radio show, I went and bought a pound of smoked cheese. Now, I'm not going to eat the entire pound. My kids love it as well. But I think you've had it before. I've brought it in.
Yes, it's really good.
Really good. So it's smoked cheese, but it's Swiss and cheddar together. So to answer your question, I have no idea.
All right.
Goat cheese or cow cheese? I have no idea.
This next one comes from @TCR Brad. If you could play any course in the world, where would you tee it up?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, the obvious answer is Augusta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go Augusta because I'd love to play Augusta. Pebble Beach would be cool, but I think if I'm going to play anywhere in the world, I want to play on the first course, St. Andrews. I want to go over there and play that.
Yeah, that'd probably be my
Scotland,
answer right there.
Yeah, I'd love to just see those courses. When you watch, they look so much different than any American course, right?
Yeah, it's just so sprawling and wide open instead of like, here's one hole, here's the next hole, here's the next hole.
It's just such a links, bump and run kind of course. I would love to play St. Andrews. My mom actually bought me a towel from St. Andrews. She was out in Scotland this year, so I've got a couple souvenirs now. She didn't play it, but she got the picture on the bridge, did all that. But St. Andrews, that's the one I want to play.
Next one comes from @TCR Podcast. If you could bring back one former Illini football player to help this year's team, who would it be and why?
Wow, that's a great question. How about, I got one. How about David Williams or Brandon Lloyd to help in the wide receiver?
Oh.
David Williams is a stud. Brandon Lloyd could just go up and get anything from Kittner. Give me David Williams. David Williams is probably arguably the best receiver ever for Illinois, probably. So, yeah, give me David Williams. Give me somebody that opens the offense up a little bit, because right now they don't have to worry about any of that.
I'd probably go Aurelius Ben.
Yeah.
Aurelius Ben.
That's a good call, too. I think we're both on the same page.
Yes, wide receivers.
How about Mikey Dudek? Bring him back.
Hey, there's a name.
I would love to see Mikey.
@IlliniDave34 asks, would you rather be in a real version of The Walking Dead or Jurassic Park?
Oh, my gosh. That's a great question. I would want to be in The Walking Dead. And I'll tell you why. It would be such an interesting thing to know that the entire human race is gone, essentially. I'm not rooting for it, mind you. But that you could walk into this mire over here and just shatter a glass and go in and grab food.
Yeah.
Grab peanut butter or whatever. But I think I'd do The Walking Dead. It would be interesting to see, because I'm a huge fan of that show. It would be interesting to see, who you converged with, what group you converged with. Are you a leader?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a follower? Are you able to actually, take out a zombie? Or are you one of those that would rather sit in the back and not do it? And I think that would just be interesting. Could you survive? I mean, you have to become a hunter. You'd have to shoot squirrel, all that kind of stuff, and hunt, grow gardens, etc. I think easily The Walking Dead.
Do you have a zombie apocalypse plan?
I don't.
Okay.
And I apologize, I don't.
It's okay.
Candy? I would go in and... Candy doesn't go bad, right?
I mean...
You can live on
the
candy.
type of candy you like Mike and Ike's, they don't.
So if I hit up a store or grocery store, I'm just going in and buying all the candy. I'm just stealing all the candy.
I mean, that would give you the sugar rush to just run away from the zombies.
That's exactly right. So, yeah, no, I'm definitely Walking Dead. Definitely there.
Okay, next question comes from @Dan. @Lon, do you think fat people are lazier than skinny people?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think sometimes it's just unfortunate that, some people can't help it. But no, I don't think that. That's a terrible question.
Yes, it was.
That's a terrible question.
I should not have asked that.
No, that's all right that you asked it, but no, not at all.
Okay. Now, this one's about the Cardinals.
Okay.
Lon, the Cardinals need to get some upgrades to get closer to the Cubs next year.
True.
Wow, that was weird to say. Other than a starting pitcher, what is the one position you want to see filled and by whom?
Oh, for sure outfield. I could say first base, but I don't know. This team's got a lot of holes. Or a lot of questions, not holes. I'm going to go outfield. I want somebody in the outfield now that Holiday's gone. So I guess you could either say left or center field. There's two names. One of them I think is just a little too old, but I would love to see what Jose Bautista did in the Cardinal uniform. The problem is, I think he's 36. He's turning 36 this month, so I'm not sure about him. Encarnacion would be all right. I guess you could put him at first, play I don't know who you'd play in the outfield. I guess you get rid of Moss. You don't sign him back. But Josh Reddick, I like that kid, Josh Reddick.
Oh, I feel like he would just tear up for the Cardinals.
I do too.
It's just so Cardinals.
I think he'd be the guy. Josh Reddick would be the guy.
All right, and the final one.
Yep.
It's a 217 texter. Hey, all-star first baseman. Who's deserting the Cardinals this year?
Who's deserting the Cardinals?
Yeah.
I think Moss will be gone. I don't think they'll re-sign him, even though he had a great year. Holiday's gone. Let me think here. I got to play this as we go. Who else is gone? Let's see. Yachty's back. Carp's back. Peralta's back. Diaz is back.
Is Jaime Garcia back?
Oh, that's a good one. No, get rid of him.
Okay.
Please get rid of him. He's gone. That's probably about it. Wong's back. Grichuk, Piscotty.
You have a lot of players on their original rookie contracts.
Matty Adams. Yeah, that's about right. That's interesting. That's a good question, actually. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting, and I think John Mozeliak's going to be confident. I think he's going to be aggressive in free agency. So we'll see what happens.
Bad year to get aggressive. There's not much out there anymore.
I think you'll see maybe a trade for the Cardinals.
Yeah,
I think you will. Got to do this to get out of here. I want to thank Jay Lehman, Big Ten Network, Jordan Burnfield, 6'7" to the score. He's awesome talking Cubs.
Yes,
and Noah Newman, WAND, talking Cleveland Indians. Do you finish it tonight, Austin? You got 10 seconds.
No comment. I don't really know.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a vote of non-confidence for John Lackey.
I'm confident, yet not confident.
Okay, that's fair enough. We'll see everybody tomorrow. It's the Tay and J Show.
In today's world of voluntary benefits, let the Ware Group General Agencies be your guide to your employees' best options. Now you can expand their benefits without direct cost to you, but with greatly enhanced choices. Their unique agency design lets them obtain plans traditionally reserved for big companies. But with one call, the Ware Group will review your needs, get the best products and prices, and with reliable post-enrollment service. By using multiple carriers, they can put their experience and knowledge to work for you. Contact Ware Group General Agencies in Champaign at WareGroupGA.com.
Hi, I'm George Vargas, Republican candidate for state's attorney. I am an experienced trial lawyer, former Champaign cop, and a veteran of both the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. I am committed to safeguarding our communities. I will do everything within my power to protect those who are most vulnerable amongst us, and will prosecute those individuals who commit gun violence in our community to the fullest extent of the law. Champaign County can and will be a safe community once again.
Paid for by the committee to elect George Vargas for state's attorney.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana.